Jump scare! Jump scare! Hi guys! What's up? What's up, y'all? What's up? Happy Friday! Happy early stream! I did mean to start stream earlier today. I was hoping to start closer to noon, but I did get kidnapped, so that didn't quite work out as planned. But we gonna draw! We gonna draw! We got some girlies to draw, as you can see. So we finished the stickers already, and guys, this print is the very last thing I need to do. This is the very final little work thing that I have to do before my January vacation can begin. I don't know if I'll be able to finish the entire thing this stream, but boy howdy, I would love to get at least close. If I don't finish it on stream tonight, I'll probably finish it tomorrow morning. Like I said, I was hoping to start the stream earlier today, but that didn't really work out because my mom was like, hey, I'm running errands and I'm taking you with me. And I was like, okay, yay. So yeah. But yeah, no procrastinating. Let's just go ahead and get started because I got a work to do. This is, I got to draw. I had a thing I was gonna say there and I forgot what it was. Got a drawer, yeah, I got a drawer. I got a drawer. No procrastinating, we're just jumping right into it, bros. Bruskies. Bruskies. Starmans. As we have decided that you lot are called now. How's everybody's Friday doing? This is the first time in a long time that I've done a stream all 3 slots in the week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yippee. If you could get cast off animated, which VTubers would you pick to voice the characters? I don't know if I would get VTubers to voice them. I would want voice actors to voice them, you know? I have some voice actors in mind for a couple of the characters, but I don't know. Oh, truck is here. Delivery truck. I got Claude catching a wild cat. Jared, are you out in the woods wrestling cats? Sorry, not the woods, the cornfields. But yeah, my mom just sometimes like calls me. And it's just like, hey, I'm running errands. Do you want to come with me? And I'm like, yay, yes, an excuse to get out of my house. Willie Future Geyser, thank you for the re-up on the membership. 12 months, a whole year. Incredible. Incredible. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go get that package off the front door before it gets stolen by creatures. You're back. Wow, 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 wow. It says it's for me. I have no idea what this is. What the hell did I buy? I forgot. I must have bought something, but I forgot. I don't remember. Oh, Jared, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. I appreciate it. Thank you. If you got a membership just now, make sure to say thank you. I forgot what I bought. Oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. Never mind. It's boring. It's boring. It's boring stuff. I forgot because it said it wasn't gonna get delivered for like several weeks after I bought it. It's nothing fun. It's just house things. It's just house things. It's all more planner stuff, Sly. Though now that you bring it up, that was the other package I got today. That was the other comment, or the other package that I got today. When I got home from hanging out with my mom, my newest jet pens order came in. I was trying to, you know, hold off on buying more shit from jet pens because I'm like, okay, I have enough. I'm good. I have enough quantity of thingies and fun art supplies. I think I'm good. I think I don't really want anything. I am not wanting for anything else. I'm okay. I'm good. And then the brand of washi stickers that I adore released a whole bunch of new designs, including these rolls that were like little crystal hearts and hydrangea flowers. And I'm like, oh, I'm so fucked. Oh, I'm so fucked. Like the little crystallized heart ones, I saw on another website and had been lusting after for weeks, but I just assumed that they had been discontinued because jet pens didn't have them. Turns out they just hadn't added them yet. They have them now, and I was like, oh, Wallet, I'm so sorry for what's about to happen, buddy. And then while I was there, I was like, well, you know, there is one thing that I've been curious about, and I haven't taken the leap into playing with it yet. I don't need to, but I'll admit that, you know, watching all these planner and journaling videos has made me curious. Let me guess, he reminded you of Verdi. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! Yes, shut up! Ah! Yes, fine. I just like shiny, shiny little crystal thingies, okay? Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Anyway, so the other thing that I was curious about, and I'm like, I don't really need to get into this, but I kind of want to, you know, just like try it and see if I like it. And if I don't, then it's fine. And if I do, then I might have a whole new problem. But I may or may not have purchased baby's first fountain pen. And, you know, a couple bottles of ink. Just to test, just to see. Nothing like super expensive. I bought what is considered like a very budget, very beginner's level fountain pen. It was like $30. Just to see if I liked it. And the problem, chat, is that I do. The problem is that I do like it. And so now I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble because that shit could get real expensive if you get into like collecting the fancy inks. And I did buy 2 bottles of ink, and one is like the perfect color that I associate with Lapis, and the other color is like a very nice purple that's kind of like Verity coated. And the fountain pen I picked out specifically like was kind of like, it was this kind of slightly translucent purple that gave me Verity vibes, but now I'm like, oh, well, I could get another fountain pen that's kind of Lapis themed, because now they're both canonically journal girlies. They're using them for very different purposes, but, you know, that could be fun. That's a thing I could do. I posted pics on Blue Sky if folks want to see them. I'm not going to bring it up on the stream or anything, but TheStarfishface on Blue Sky, same username is here. I just posted pictures right before the stream. If folks are curious, I posted like a little writing sample. So you guys can actually see what my little journal entries look like if you're curious. Like I said, I'm not gonna be posting them like very much at all. I was a little embarrassed posting the one that I did post, but I wanted to show off the inks, and I felt like a writing sample would be a good way to do that. So I'm not gonna link it. You guys can go hunt that down yourself if you're interested, but yeah. Oh, Spaceship Orion, thank you for joining the membership. I appreciate it. Thank you. Welcome to the Starlings. I just realized, yeah, we do have Starlings as the membership name. Maybe it's like a Pokemon. Maybe the Starmins evolve into Starlings. Maybe Starlings get like little wingies. You start as just a normal Starmin, but then if you join the membership, you get little wingies and you are a Starling. They like level up. It's like a 2-step Pokemon evolution. But yeah, so my issue now is like, oh no, I am teetering on the edge of the fountain pen rabbit hole, and I can feel myself leaning into it, and I'm like, uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Is dangerous, chat, because fountain pens can get really expensive, and like, I don't think I'm the type of person to drop like hundreds of dollars on a single pen. The one I got was only like 35 bucks. I got a TWSBI Eco for if anyone who knows and is curious, but I don't think I'm going to be spending like a shit ton of money on this hobby or anything. I can't see myself spending like $500 on a single pen. That shit's ridiculous. But, you know, like getting a nice little collection of ink, maybe getting a couple different ones so that I can like use different inks that I like without having to switch them around too frequently. I don't know. I'm in my writer girly phase. Let me have fun. We'll see, we'll see. You guys can watch and document my descent into madness. I'm in trouble, gamers. I'm in trouble. This is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad. You guys are gonna have to forcibly drag me away from the JetPens website. That place is like my kryptonite. It's so fucking dangerous. But yeah. Just wanted to mention you helped me continue my comment. Good luck with the Valentine's drawing. Thank you! And I'm glad. I always am glad to hear that like my stuff has helped people, so thank you for letting me know. I appreciate. Good luck! The impending release of Vector Plush is going to make January feel so long. Yes, so that is another thing I can talk about because there has been a critical update as of the most recent stream. If you guys, if you guys did not see my community post, we have an official launch date for the Vector plushies. It's happening. My makeshift people are finally back from vacation. They emailed me yesterday. February 7th. It's gonna not be until, okay, so here's what happens. I got a message from the makeshift folks yesterday, and they said, hey, when do you want to, actually, like, start the campaign now that you've got the plushie finalized and the prototype has made it to you? And I was like, I'm pretty down to start whenever. Do you have like a recommendation on like when a good day would be? And they were like, well, we actually recommend starting probably after the post-holiday lull is over. So if you don't mind and you don't think your viewers would mind too much, we think it would actually be better if you waited until February. And it was like, it was my call. I could have done it whenever, but like, they recommended, you know, waiting just a little bit so that people's wallets could recover post-Christmas. And, you know, because my thought was I was weighing the options. And on one hand, I was like, well, the fundraiser happened, or the interest check like campaign happened all the way back in September. And people have already been waiting a really long time for these plushies. And I don't want to keep them waiting too much longer, you know? But on the other side of the scale, I'm about to go on vacation, and if we wait until February, I wouldn't have to put together any of the promo materials until after January was over and I was already back at work, which means that I could have a little bit more time to prepare and I wouldn't have to worry about it all of February. I could have more time to, you know, like ominously hint that the boy is coming. And then, yeah, like, hopefully more people would be able to afford it because the post-holidays, like, wallet recovery is real. And so, honestly, like, as much as I hate waiting, because I, too, am impatient, and I know you guys are as well, it did feel like the right call to wait a little bit. So, Vector's campaign will be starting, February 8th, which is or February 7th, which is a Friday. First Friday in February, the boy will be unleashed. But he's only going to be available for purchase for like 3 weeks. So if you want him, make sure to save up your money. There is, like, Makeship occasionally does reprints of really popular plushies. There is no guarantee that the boy is getting that. So if you want a plushie, I hate to activate your FOMO, but there is no guarantee that he is ever getting re-released. So if you want this boy, you are going to want to get him when he's out in February. I get so guilty about limited release stuff, but them's the biscuits, you know? Them's the biscuits. How'd you do the outlines on the hearts? It's just a stroke function in Clip Studio. If you look up Clip Studio, I believe it's like stroke or border effect or something. It'll tell you how to do it. We're all gonna have to buy 5 each. You guys gonna freaking scalp the vectors? Oh my goodness. Exaya, thank you for the super chat. How do you figure out how to end your story? That is a damn good question. It's really just figuring out, like, what your character's goals are, and then what the end result of that goal and that journey will be. Like, do you want it to have a happy ending? Do you want it to have a sad ending? Do you want it to have, like, a bittersweet ending? Like, how do you tie up the story? How do you finish off everyone's character arcs? That kind of thing. There's a lot of different factors. And I'm not sure if I'm, like, super qualified for it, because my webcomic is still going. Like, I know how it's gonna end. The exact mechanical ways, like the exact events of how the cast gets there have changed a little bit. But the ending is still functionally the same as it has been since I first started the comic. I've changed a few mechanical details in, like, the way the magic system works and how some of the lead up is going to happen, but... And I still might change it, is the thing. You know, the cast-off's ending is probably, like, at least another 5 years off, and 5 is extremely optimistic. But yeah, you know, just... You gotta kind of think about, like, where you want your characters and your story to end up. I don't know if that's helpful, but... It's like, think about the destination, you know? What are you trying to show with the story? What point are you trying to get across? Big CPs. If I back the project in the summer, when will I be getting the little guy? You will have... Okay, if you backed Vector during the interest check way back in September, you will get him at the same time as everyone else. The final charge will go through on whatever card you use to reserve him February 7th. If you are suddenly no longer able to purchase a Vector, I would suggest contacting Makeship. I know at least one person in my Discord was talking about it. It's like, well, my financial situation has kind of changed. If that is the case, you should be able to contact Makeship, and I'm sure they'd be able to help you with that. But yeah, just be aware that that's the day that the payment will go through. So, I did get a couple questions about that, because, yeah, I know that, like, Makeship pre-orders are a little odd. But the way they do it is specifically to make sure that, like, enough people are willing to put their money where their mouth is in regards to, like, actually getting the plushie. Because the thing about... the thing about running a business, right, is that so many people will say that they want a thing, but then you see all the people who say that they're interested. And you're like, and people will say, it's like, oh man, if you made this thing, I would totally buy it. I want it so, so bad. And you're just like, wow, look at all these people who say they want to buy the thing that I made. And then you go and you buy like a whole bunch of stock of the thing. And then you turn around and you go, hey everybody, remember how you said that you wanted to buy this thing if I made it? Well, I made it and now you guys can buy it. And you hold it out to them and it's crickets. and now you're stuck with like this thing that a lot of people said that they wanted, but they were not willing to put their money where their mouth is. This is not me specifically calling out anyone in particular. It's just that sometimes people will get excited about the idea of something, but then not actually be willing to put money behind it, you know? It happens. Everybody does it. It's not like the most annoying thing in the world. It's just when you're running a business that involves like getting things made, it's something you need to be mindful of. Because yeah, if you just learn, it's something you'll learn very quickly not to rely on. If you want people to actually like, if you want to get an accurate judge of how many people want to buy a thing, open pre-orders. Don't just like take an interest check on like social media or something. You have to actually like get people to put their money and their credit card information where their mouth is, or else you're going to end up buying a bunch of stock that people don't actually buy. It has happened to all of us at one point or another, and it sucks, but it's kind of the reality of business. And so that's kind of what Makeship does. And I actually think it's a very good process, where they basically say, hey, put $2 of a down payment on this plushie. Show us that you are willing to put your money where your mouth is. And if we get enough interest, i.e. 200 reservations, essentially, then they'll move forward with like making the rest, like actually going through and manufacturing the plushies and getting a bunch of them made and stuff. Because if they just did an interest check where it's just like, okay, guys, fill out this Google form if you want to buy this plushie, by the time they make the plushies, half of those people will have disappeared. And so I think it's a good idea that they like don't even commit to the manufacturing process unless they can get, you know, the minimum number of people to actually put their credit card information into the website to show that they mean business and that they do actually want to buy it, you know? It just means that sometimes, you know, if the process of getting the plushies made takes a little longer than expected, sometimes people might get a wee bit confused. But if you put the $2 down over the summer, you will be getting the plushie. If you buy him during, if you pre-ordered a Vector during the original thing, you will be getting a plushie, and then you will also have an opportunity to purchase the plushie when the campaign runs for the 3 weeks in February. So there will be plushies, just after February, after the actual crowdfunding situation is over, there will be no more opportunities to get plushie, probably. So just be mindful of that. Do you guys want to see him? Have you guys... He does honestly look pretty similar to the little guy I've got down here, proportions-wise and all. Would you guys like to see him? Look at him. Look at Sunboy. Sunboy boy son. Sunboy sweet. Sweet boyo. Sweet boy. Here, if you would like to get an email notification when the Vector plushies are available, I'm dropping a link in the chat there. You can go on the Makeship page and click like notify me when the campaign launches if you want to get an email to make sure you know when he's coming. If you're on my Discord, I'll also be sending out announcements. I'm probably going to advertise them in whatever my next video is. I will be screaming, but if you want to make sure that you get an email when he goes live, you can go on the Makeship page. He's just a little guy, you guys. Look at him. Look at him. Look at that face. Look at that little face. That's me son right there. That's me son right there. I'm actually very happy with how these turned out. He's like very high quality. Like higher quality than I expected. There is not a raw seam on this boy. He is all finished edges and he's beautiful. My beautiful son. Perfect size for grisping. I posted this in the cast-off chat the other day. Where did I put it? What channel did I put it in? Yes, here. because I have the image that I sent to Mod Chat the day he arrived. Grisp! Grisps him! He's perfect grisping size. Grabs him. Grabs him. Grisps him. One other thing you need to keep in mind as far as the size goes, gang, is that I do have very large hands and long fingers. So if you have small hands, this might be throwing the scale off. I get them piano playing fingers, but he is a creature. He very much is. I believe he's like 9 inches from head to feet. Head to feet, he's about 9 inches. He's a big boy. He's very cute. He's a good boy. He's grispable. All right, back to my drawing. I gotta stay focused. I can't get distracted. But yeah, if you want that boy, mark your calendars for February 7th. That is the day he goes live. Put an alert in your phone right now. Put an alert in your phone right now. Vector plushie campaign begins on Makeship, February 7th. Put it on your calendar. Here, I'll post that link one more time. I will post that link one more time, and I will, of course, be screeching about it once he actually is live, but I want to do as much pre-gaming as I can. Get people prepped. Why do I keep getting slow-moded? Because the entire chat is slow-moded. Because if you guys spam in there too much, it makes it hard for me to read messages. I have slow mode turned on for everybody. Slow mode is glitching out. It is probably working exactly as it should. If people are posting messages constantly, it makes it very hard for me to read chat, and so I have it so that people have to wait 10 seconds between messages. We keep getting glitched out. That is probably a YouTube issue, unfortunately. I do not know how to fix that. It's probably not something I can fix. Probably a YouTube issue. I'm sorry, gamers. Shoes. I had to redraw these heckin' shoes like so many times. Trying to get the angles right. Shoes are my enemy and my weakness. I'm not good at drawing them. Now I'm curious what your reach is on a piano. Couldn't tell, you don't have one. Couldn't tell, you don't have one. I know that at the very least I did play bass for a little while. And I did have trouble playing some bass songs because I was not sure how the fuck people would get like one finger on the first fret and then the next finger on the fourth fret. And I was like, excuse me. Excuse me, what the fuck is this? Are you Spider-Man? What the F? I took keyboard lessons from my mom when I was very young, like in elementary school. I retained none of it. I retained none of it. I can play the Jaws theme song on piano, though. And I learned a song from a JRPG I've never played because a friend of mine was really into it, and he had a piano, and so I learned how to play it by ear on the piano. But it was just like plunky, just little like one note at a time. It was like... It was very plunky, but I could play it, and it got to a point where it was just like muscle memory. It was just like, I can play the little theme song to this JRPG that I have never played because I don't own a PlayStation. I wonder if anyone can identify the song from that. I don't even know if I ever heard the song properly. I just heard my friend, like, hum it sometimes. I've been following your Idol podcast for forever and just recently discovered your channel. Oh my god! god! That's so rare. That's so rare and precious. People almost never find me from the podcast. Welcome! You found me in my natural habitat. Technically, the podcast has existed longer than the YouTube channel. Or at least longer that I've been posting on the channel. Things that were not just stream archives. If you guys don't know, I've got a podcast where my bestie and I talk about idol anime and make a lot of really stupid jokes. If you like my bullshit, you should enjoy me and my bestie's bullshit, where we talk about idol anime, and it's very fun and very silly. You don't have to watch the shows associated with the episodes to enjoy the podcast. It's literally just me and a friend riffing off silly shows and making each other laugh, and it's a very good time. Yes, Sly just posted the link. It's called Idol Days. Spoiler alert, Star likes Nico. I am going to time you out for the entire rest of stream if you continue with this slander. But yeah, can confirm the jokes are indeed stupid. You got it! That's the vibe. That's the energy. But yeah, we're on a little bit of a hiatus right now because in case you could not tell by how much I've been talking about how much work I've had to do over the past few months, your girl's tired. Your girl's tired, but we've got a fairly large backlog. You don't have to listen to episodes in order. You can just pick and choose which ones you want to listen to if you don't mind the occasionally fluctuating microphone quality. You also do not have to watch the shows that we're talking about because we basically recap the entire plot as we talk about the show. There's some very, very silly episodes. If you guys want to listen to me have a mental breakdown on a podcast and just freak the fuck out, go listen to the Gekidol episode. That is to this day one of the... I think that is the longest episode we've recorded, unless something has dethroned it recently. I can't remember. But it's basically me having a 3-hour-long mental breakdown about one of the worst anime I've ever watched. Can you spell that? Gekidol. Gekidol. I believe we have an Idol Days favorites playlist on the YouTube channel. It should be in there. But we've talked about all the seasons of Love Live. We've talked about Idolmaster My Beloved. We've talked about On Stars, which I really wish was better. We've talked about Udapri. We've watched so many shows. We watched Oshinoko, and actually our next episode is going to be Oshinoko season 2. But we did season 1 last year, so I watched Gekidol after that episode. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you put yourself through that? Was my suffering not enough of a warning? Oh no! Arnar! Why would you do that? Are you okay? Are there any mermaid idol anime you can recommend? The only one I can think of is Mermaid Melody. I'm not sure if I would call it an idol anime, but it's like a magical girl anime, and the characters are mermaids, and they do their little magical girl attacks by singing. It has similar vibes to an idol anime. I watched it when I was a young baby. But I don't think it's necessarily idols, it's just there is music. But it's cute. It's very aesthetically cute. It's like very much targeted at young girls, but I watched it when I was a young girl and I fucking loved it. I wanted to see if it was bad, and it was. Again, was my warning not enough? The only idol anime I know technically is Perfect Blue. Bro, that was like our 3rd episode. I fucking love that movie so much. That was literally one of the first episodes we ever did, because I'm like, okay, we're done talking about original Idolmaster. I want to talk about some dark shit. I want to talk about the idols that kill people. Let's go! K-On! Isn't necessarily an idol anime, but music is involved. Yes, Sarah and I have joked that when we finally watch K-On!, that'll be like the last episode of the podcast, because we both adore it, but it's technically a band anime and not really idols. We did watch, we watched Bocchi, though. We did watch Bocchi the Rock, though, and that one's very cute and Relatable. Cue me posting Bochi gifs in the mod chat when I'm ranting about my social anxiety. I'm just like, I don't know how to talk to people, Bochi gif. Out of curiosity, have you seen Paradox Live, the animation? I've heard of it. I don't think I could pick it out of a lineup, but I have heard of it. Yeah, I think right now, just because we've kind of had to tone down on how many episodes we're putting out on a regular basis, Sarah and I have decided we really want to focus more on like shows that are specifically idols, unless there is genuinely nothing else that we want to watch. But now we did love Bochi. K-On! Will be, we keep joking that we have to do a K-On! Episode eventually, and our joke has kind of been that K-On! Will be the final episode of Idle Days. If we ever decide that we can't do the podcast anymore, we just gotta watch K-On! And talk about it. You ever just make a silly little podcast with your bestie? You ever make a silly podcast with your bestie? Zombieland Saga? I only watched until the Autotune episode. Yeah, we watched both seasons of Zombieland Saga. We did that for Halloween 2 years in a row. I love Zombieland Saga. Saki best girl. I have so many best girls in that show, actually. I love all of them. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think there's a character in Zombieland Saga that I dislike. I just love Saki. It's a podcast on Spotify. It is, and there's the link. We've got, the second link there is our website, and there should be a link for Spotify down in there. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts. We should be wherever you get your podcasts. But yeah, also, if you want to help us get monetized, we're trying to get the podcast's YouTube channel to 1,000 subscribers. We're very close. We're only like 200 subscribers away. I'm gonna go ahead and pin that, actually. But yeah, we're very close to 1,000 subscribers, and once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we can start making a little bit of money on the podcast. And our goal right now is just to be able to, like, pay for Sarah's Crunchyroll subscription that she and I both share. Just, you know, kind of, we would love to also additionally at some point hire an editor, but we're not making any money off the podcast right now, so that's something that's gotta wait, unfortunately. What? YouTube is gonna be our best option for monetizing. So yippee! We can unlock that once we hit 1,000 subaronis, so you guys should go subscribe to the podcast! Link's in the pinned comment. Yippee. Yippee! Oh! Completely unrelated, but I just remembered. Because I think I talked about Lapis's campaign on Monday stream, my D&D character Lapis. We had a session this past weekend, and last night I finally had time to go in and do the summary update for the campaign. If you type !Lapis into the chat, it will bring up the link. But I finished writing the recap of the most recent session. It is turning into the most complicated web of secrets, and it's been so much fucking fun. Okay, that should work. Everyone, public members of the chat should have that ability. Hang on. I might need to go poke the bot. But there we go. Thank you, FrankieBot. I'll need to check the settings because that should be an everyone command, not just a mod command. Yes, FrankieBot just posted the link. Because the most recent session was just kind of a continuation of the last one. It was like just the world's longest night watch that lasted 2 entire D&D sessions. We didn't even get into any combat. There was just so much shit happening in interpersonal drama. there's not like a clear divide on where the new stuff starts, so I would recommend starting at like the last subheading if you've caught up in the past. But yeah, some shit is happening. We finally found out Laz's real name and a little bit more about their shit. It's very exciting, and I'm having a lot of fun. It's very dramatic. It's very dramatic, and I'm very excited. I have many more D&D doodles that I want to do over the next couple of weeks. It's just that I've been kind of gently holding myself back because I've been really burnt out. And burnout, for me, it's harder to notice until after it's kind of already getting better. And then it's something that's more easy to notice retroactively, in my case. Because when I'm in the middle of it, when I'm in the throes of burnout, it's like, I'm not burnt out, I'm just tired. I'll be fine in like 3 days. And then 3 days later, you're just like, oh shit, yeah, I was really burnt out. What the fuck was I talking about? But yeah, so like, I'm like, okay, I was definitely extremely burnt out and I'm still recovering from it. So I'm not gonna like, I'm just gonna focus on getting everything I need to get done before my break. And then once I am done with that, I will slowly ease back into doing more sketchbook stuff. But I'm keeping all of my ideas for sketchbook stuff on a little sticky note. And then once I'm finally feeling it again, I will jump back into the shenaniganery, because I have a lot of silly doodles that I want to do from the most recent couple sessions of both campaigns. Because Verity's campaign has a lot of shit going on there too. But I'm saving summaries of Verity's campaign until after the D&D video is done. Because what I'm thinking is that I'm going to do the D&D video first, because that's going to focus on Verity's story. And then once the D&D video is done, I'm going to start posting, like, installments of the events of her campaign and her story. Just on Unveil, kind of similar to how I'm doing Lapis. And then depending on how the D&D video performs, I may do future installments. But I'm probably just going to keep them written unless the D&D video does phenomenally well. So we'll see. At the very least, there will be a video for Act 1, and then future installments will be written kind of in the style of the script for the D&D video. And then if I'm feeling it, then I can do future, like, video installments. I'm so unbelievably grateful that Lapis has an Unveil. Her story is so fascinating and very good consolation for not being streamed like What's Left of Us. I am so glad that people are enjoying that. If I'm being honest, I've been a little bit grumpy because I've ranted about this on past streams, but I have had a lot of people just seeing, like, the stuff I post on social media for Lapis, jumping to conclusions about what her situation is, and then getting pissed at me about their incorrect assumptions. And it's to the point where it's like, I'm not writing this as, like, a webcomic or an actual, like, polished story. I'm literally just posting, like, campaign summaries. And the people who are leaving those comments are not even the people reading the campaign summaries. They're watching, like, the one YouTube short that I've posted, where, you know, I have to fit a character's entire summary into under 60 seconds. Even less than that, technically, because I had to fit a promotional spiel at the end. And they're judging based off of that, and then they're yelling at me in the comments for doing bad representation of something that she is not. And it gets so fucking frustrating. I have considered not sharing the summaries anymore. But then I was like, the people who are leaving those comments are not the people who are reading the summaries and enjoying them. They're just people, they're probably not even fucking subscribed to me. They're just people who are seeing this short come up in their feed, and they're judging without the full context. And then they're being shits to me. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna pander to those people. I'm gonna pander to the people who like my shit. The whole duck versus platypus rant, I take it. Was it that obvious? That's what I was talking about. Is it that obvious? I don't like vague posting, but sometimes you just gotta get the angry worms out of your brain, you know? I forgot about Unveil. Is it good? I like it. There's a couple of things that I wish were a little bit different, but it's very nice for keeping everything in one place. And I like it. It's more convenient than just like making my own website for all this stuff, you know? Because I'm not exactly like coding smart. I did originally consider making like a card website for Verity's party and like all of her adventures and shit. And then I sat down to actually make it and I was like, I don't wanna. I don't wanna, this is a pain. And so I'm like, I already have an Unveil account because they sponsored me that one time. I'll just use that. And sponsorship money went to a good cause. Oops. Unveil and Tumblr seem to go hand in hand. Yeah, I post a lot of like more just kind of impromptu shit on Tumblr. But Unveil's where I post, like, the database stuff. Like, that's a good place for my campaign summaries, and it's good for keeping it organized and such. Tumblr's where I go to post my memes. I post my memes on tumblr.com. Somebody posted my nudes on tumblr.com. That is a reference. That is not me just saying weird shit out of context, which is what these streams usually are. Is the thing about needing editors, is that a kind of open call thing? Not at the moment! Once we actually start making some money from the podcast, that is a thing we might consider, but honestly, I'm not sure. We'd need more views than we're getting now before we are able to afford that kind of thing, so... Also, I've been around the internet long enough to know a lot of people need the whole duck versus platypus rant. Yeah. If you guys are unfamiliar, I posted some, you know, just vague posting on Blue Sky yesterday, where it's just like, me, I have created this creature. It has a bill and webbed feet, and it lays eggs. And then everyone in the comments is like, okay, so you made a duck. Got it. And I'm like, well, actually, it's a platypus, but you're not ready. You're clearly not ready to have that conversation. It's like everyone's jumping to the duck conclusion. I'm like, no. You just haven't seen the whole animal yet. It's not a duck. It's a platypus. But then people get mad at me because they're like, you made a very shitty duck. And I'm like, bitch, it's a platypus. You know? And so the whole thing, yes, if it was not clear, that was a vague rant about Lapis and everything that I've ranted about for her before. It's like, you know, I try to do intrigue and have like her shit... I needed the explanation. That's funny. I'm glad you think so. It was very much like a venting thing for me, but you know, sometimes you just need to get the demons out. That post is still on Blue Sky if you guys want to see it, because there was like a reply tweet as well. But basically, the comments I'm complaining about specifically are people complaining is like, oh, I can't believe that you're doing such bad representation for Lapis. I'm like, she's not representation because she does not have what you guys think that she has. She's a fucking sleeper agent. She does not have dissociative identity disorder. Leave my baby girl alone. I actually didn't know platypuses laid eggs. Yeah, they lay eggs and they're actually venomous. I think they might be the only mammals that are venomous, I think. They've got like little barbs on their little webbed feetsies. And they make little sonar clicky noises. Only the males. The males lay eggs! No, I'm kidding. I figured that you meant the poison, the venoms. They glow green under specific conditions. I have heard that. I've heard that. Platypuses is just, like, let's see how much we can fuck with this animal. Let's see how much we can fuck up this animal. I've seen creators stop making art of their OCs because of comment bullies, and it's sad every time. Yeah, and I'm not gonna stop playing the character, you know, because I love my baby and I know what I'm trying to do with her. Even if people are being dicks about it. And I'm like, no, you're not gonna fucking, like, bully me into it. Or, like, into doing this character differently because I'm having fucking fun. I did not make her for you, and your accusations are moot because you're just putting, like, words in my mouth, essentially. It's dumb shit. Honestly, I think it's annoying as fuck when people claim someone's personal character and try to claim them as representation and get all pearl clutchy about it. Yeah, exactly. And like, the comment that set off that thread was I got a response that got caught in my hey, this might be bullying folder on YouTube. and I did delete it before it ever went public because it pissed me off. But they were basically saying is like, well, even if you didn't intend on this being representation, it very clearly is. And I'm like, and they were like, yeah, it's very clearly still representation, even if you did not intend it. And therefore you did a shit job and it's offensive. And I'm like, the fuck do you mean? Ah! How the fuck does that work? Good fucking question. Good damn question. That's what set off the fucking thread. I was just like, yeah, you did, even if you didn't intend for it to be representation, it very clearly is, and you did a shit job and you need to fix it. And I'm like, no. No, because that's not what it is. You jumping to conclusions and doing the deadly assumption thing. Remember, kids, don't assume or you'll make an ass out of you and me. You're doing that whole biscuit. And you're looking like an ass, and you're making me look like an ass. Swats you with a newspaper. Get out of my comment section. Like Jiminy Christmas. Like, okay. I have had instances in Cast Off where people have, you know, asked if certain characters are like something. Like, I've had people ask me if, you know, like if XYZ characters are like autistic or something, or ADHD or such. And I myself am not autistic, and for like, so that's not something I intended to put into those characters. So I would never claim that it was like representation because it was not intended. But I don't mind like people headcanoning that, because like if you see yourself in that, then that's totally fine, and like I'm okay with headcanons, you know? And also, like, you know, I've been getting a lot of comments on my most recent character video that a lot of people headcanon Amalia, my dear girl, as being trans, and I'm like, that was not the intent, but like if you want to see her that way, then sure, I don't have anything against that, that's fine. But like with Lapis specifically, the people trying to insist that she has like dissociative identity disorder really sucks, because like it's bad representation as she is. So they're basically forcing her into a box and then saying she's doing a really shit job at being in the box when I did not intend to put her in the box anyway. And I'm like, guys, you really should not be doing this. This is bad for everybody. Because like, what are you doing? It's like, this is not a good idea. And it's just, ugh, guarantee these are all 13-year-olds with nothing better to do. Honestly, I do kind of get those vibes, but it's so frustrating, you know? We'll Cast Off have some LGBT. My friend, most of the cast is asexual. and that is intended representation, because your girly here points at self is asexual and non-committal shrug romantic. We're still in the process of feeling it out, gang. I'm sticking with demi-romantic for right now, but I'm not even really that committed to that label. I'm just like, eh. People ask me what I'm into, I go, eh. I don't want to bang nobody, but you know, if romance happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm gonna be the coolest fucking aunt ever. You know? Non-committal shrug romantic. But yeah, so like the LGBTQ representation for a large part is intended. Like Liam, it's very subtle, but Liam does have a line outing him as trans in the comic. It's very subtle. A lot of people did not catch it, but a lot of people did. It's one of those things where it's like, if you know, you know, and if you don't, then it's probably gonna go whoosh right over your head. But the people who know, and they do like the Leonardo DiCaprio point at the screen. Oh, hell yeah, LGBTQ2 just came out. The sequel to Gay. Oh, hell yeah, Gay 2, the sequel to Gay. Oh my god. It's like that Peggle 2 gif is like, Peggle 2, and the guy like jumps and does like a little touchdown like pose. Gay people 2. I was thinking about it. The mental image is very default to gay. Shit. Is it backwards compatible? Jesus Christ. Haven't seen gay people 2. Is it any good? We got gay 2 before GTA 6. Stop, my chest hurts. Jesus Christ. Finally, the DLC. I'm dying. Oh my god. Help! Oh no. Oh, my chest hurts from laughing. I have to draw my fluffy little Valentine's lesbians. Ah! Oh man. Okay. People keep asking me this, and I feel like I don't want to, you know, say anything for certain. People keep asking me, oh my god, are these 2 characters gonna date? Are they gonna be endgame? Are they gonna smooch? Are they gonna kiss? Are they gonna, like, make out? Are they in lesbians with each other? Are they in lesbians with each other? You have to answer. And my thing is, you know, I'm not gonna, like, 100% confirm anything, but, like, chat, look at them. My whole take on romance and cast-off is romance will never be the 100% focus of the comic. But, like, look at them. Look at them. I'm not gonna say that it's canon, because, like, my thing is, you know, romance is not going to be the main objective in Cast-Off. All these characters are fucking traumatized, and they've got a lot of their own shit to deal with. Give them a sec, you know? Like, give them a sec to get over all their various traumas and have their various character arcs. Because, like, one of my biggest annoyances, there's been a lot of, like, really good shows that I've watched in the last couple of years that have been ruined by, like, characters jumping into a romance too soon, you know? And I'm just like, y'all still have, this is gonna turn into, like, a codependent relationship if y'all aren't careful, because, like, I feel like you still have, y'all still need to work on yourselves a lot more because before you go jumping into a relationship. So, like, I feel like you really need to figure your own shit out before you, like, start dating and make your relationship the entire thing that all your screen time is dedicated to. I've seen a lot of shows that are so eager to jump into, like, the romance arc that they miss a lot of, like, very important character development. This will not be the case with Cast-Off. That's all I'm going to say. People asking me, is Island Punch canon? I'm gonna be like, give them a sec. Give them a sec. I will jokingly call them my fluffy little lesbians, though. They're not lesbians. Ariana is bi and Marina is pan, but it's fun to... It's affectionate ribbing. It's fine. But yeah, you know, like, my focus will always be on characters' individual arcs. We're gonna do that first. There's, like, you know, there's an order of operations here. I'm not gonna have the characters jump into bed with each other before they've figured out their own shit. Because that stuff drives me crazy. Just, you know, let it play out. I love the folks who are into it. Let it play out. Let them have their time. Let them have a sec. But also, like, look at them. They're so cute. But also, like, look at them, though. Look at the babies. Look at the babies. They're so fluffy. This is 2 Februaries in a row that I've drawn them in, like, cutesy little, like, tee-hee-hee little pictures. Thank you for giving a voice to this opinion. I agree very much, and this is an issue in at least one of my fandoms. However, I do think characters getting to lean on each other that way is really sweet. Yeah, like, I don't think there's a problem with, you know, emotionally relying on each other, but I feel like making the relationship official before they've kind of figured their own thing out can kind of be a really big detriment to a story. So, let them cook. Yeah, basically. It's like, let them cook, let me cook. We have such sights to show you, gang. I have such sights to show you. I guess I can also say this here. At the risk of terrifying you guys. At the risk of terrifying my audience by saying this, we are getting to the point in the story where shit is gonna start getting a little bit crazy. And things are gonna start happening. And the gut response is gonna maybe be like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And the fact that it's webcomic time is going to make that worse. Because there's gonna be like a lot of time you guys have to like sit on certain things that you maybe wouldn't need to sit on in like a movie or like if you were binge reading or something. All I want to say is that before shit gets a little too wacky, just trust me. We're going somewhere with this. But we have to do some wacky shit first. I'm going somewhere with this. This has been the plan for a very long time. I am just going to have to ask you guys to trust me. I mean, like, we've been at this for like 10 years. I know that sometimes it can seem like a big ask, especially if you've been like betrayed by a piece of media before. Just, I am asking on one knee for you guys to just trust me. It's giving trust the process, guys. It very much is going to, there's gonna be some points in the comic where it's gonna be like, guys, just trust me, we're going somewhere with this. Just trust me, we're going somewhere with this, you know? The next couple chapters are gonna be a little bit scary. And I just need you guys to trust me. I just want to know what's up with Miss Jacobs. We will get answers for that. I cannot tell you when. It's scary when you say trust me. I understand, but it's also scary when you're going up the hill on a roller coaster. You know, you just gotta trust that you're not gonna fly out of the seat. If you trust me and let me take you on this little adventure, there will be satisfaction at the end of it. But it's gonna be a little bit scary there for a hot second. It's gonna be a little scary there. If it makes you feel any better, fucking Jay wants me to make it worse. I've told him like some of the stuff and I'm like, oh, I don't know, is this too much? And he keeps trying to push me to make it worse. And I'm like, I think that tells me that I'm doing just enough. I think that tells me that I'm doing just enough, actually. So I think I'm gonna just stick with my guns. I trust you to traumatize me. It's like, thank you. It's like I said, it's like a roller coaster, okay? The next couple chapters are going to be a little bit of a roller coaster, but I need you guys to trust that the safety harness works. There's gonna be some points where the roller coaster goes upside down and it's gonna feel like it's lasting a really long time, but I'm cooking. I'm cooking and I hope that I have earned you guys' trust so far. I sincerely hope that I have done a good job of earning you guys' trust so far when I say that I am cooking. I have a plan. The plan is going into fruition very soon. You have a safety harness. It's gonna work out. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be scary for a little while at points. Let me cook, essentially. I don't want to belabor the point, but sometimes you gotta put your guys in situations. You really fucking do. I thought we were already on a roller coaster. We are right now. Okay. here, I'm just gonna use the same canvas as Vector here. So the cast-off roller coaster looks a bit like this. So like the first couple chapters, it's like, you know, it's like, whoa, and then there's the thing in chapter 2. And then there was like, whoa, there's been like some stuff for the last couple chapters. Chapters 11 and 12 is like, whoa! And it's like, oh, that was a really exciting drop. Surely nothing bad's going to happen. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Hey! Hey! Get back here! This is chapter 13. This is chapter 13. And then chapter 14 is going to be like, ah! And then it's gonna be like chapter 15! Well, actually, no, you know what? Chapter 15 is not gonna be that steep. The chapters after chapter 15 are gonna be kind of steep. So this is chapter 13, and like this whole back section here, I'm gonna need you guys to trust me until like here. Cause there's gonna be some fucking ups and downs. There's gonna be some shit going on in the next couple chapters. Which chapter is the loop-de-loop? It's up here somewhere. It's off screen a little bit. There's a loop in there somewhere. I'm screaming too emphatically. I need a sip. Ah. But yeah, apologies if that makes you excited and or terrified, but you know. Womp womp. I am like genuinely nervous about some of the stuff that is coming up in future chapters, but and honestly, most of the nerves has come from the formatting of the comic, where you guys are gonna have to sit on some of these pages for a very long time. And you're gonna have to sit in these events for longer than you would if it was like a TV series or a book or something. It's like the problem with webcomics, you know? I love the medium, but webcomic time does unfortunately kill the man. So... But yeah, and I guess like one of my other things is, you know, over the last couple of years, Cast-Off's audience has gotten exponentially larger to the point where it's like, honestly, a little bit intimidating and kind of scary. Because, you know, I was doing this for like 8 years with a pretty small but dedicated fan base. And like, I was fine with that. And I was just, you know, making it work. We were running around, we were doing stuff and having a good old time. But I never felt like too pressured by an audience of that size. And now, like, the comic is getting so many more viewers and so many more eyes are on it, which means that so many more people are like bringing themselves into the story and bringing their opinions with it. And it genuinely does get kind of intimidating because you're suddenly getting like more comments from all these people that you had never like considered. And like there's more people who are like casting their opinions on your work, and you're just like so much more conscious of all the eyeballs that are suddenly on your work that were not there before. And it gets really intimidating. And there was a period of time, I'm still struggling with it, but it was really bad at one point about a year ago, where I was like genuinely considering changing stuff in the story because I was scared it was too much. And I'm like, I don't want to go this dark because what if my audience doesn't like it? And I've kind of worked past that at this point, but it's still something that kind of echoes around in the back of my brain, you know? Where it's just like, what if people don't like it? What if you go too hard with this and then people don't like it? And it like scared me. I got scared that like people weren't going to enjoy it, that it was going to be too much. And I was like, I am genuinely concerned that the people I have done, like the people I've gathered and like the community that I've made this comic for is gonna like turn on me a little bit because they're not gonna like where the story goes. And it took a lot of encouragement by friends that they were like, no, Start, you've made something good. Don't chicken out of your vision for this story just because you're scared of what people might think, you know? And it's like genuinely something I've been a little bit self-conscious about. But there was a quote that I heard a little bit ago that honestly helped, where it's like, it's something I had heard a long time ago, but it wasn't something I really internalized until more recently, where it's like, you can't write defensively for an audience that is not like, does not love your work. You have to write like passionately for yourself, you know? And it's like, I love the story. I love like this. I love what I have written. I love these characters. I love the journey that they are going on. I love where it's going to end up. I've been excited about some of the shit that's coming up for years. And I'm so excited for so much of it. But it's just like, you know, there's a pressure now that I was not anticipating. It's just like, oh, I know I love this, but are the people who are reading and consuming this going to love it? And I just have to keep reminding myself that, like, they love this because I love this, you know? And I just have to hold on to that, you know? We are zooming through. There was a comment I wanted to respond to. Where is it? Oh yeah. Not to slander webtoon artists, but I've seen some really vile stuff people eat up on certain webtoons. I doubt it'll be that bad, at least. No, we're not gonna get into like... We're not gonna get into like R-word shit. We're not gonna get into like... stuff. Like, the kind of stuff here is not worth like... How do I want to put this? I'm not gonna get canceled over it, but I'm nervous, you know? We're not gonna get any darker than Full Metal Alchemist, you know? I think that's a good... We're not going rated R. We're not doing anything like that. There's just gonna be, you know, some dramatic shit in the next couple chapters. Vector gets canceled for selling Bitcoin. Vector, no. Vector, no. How did you even learn what Bitcoin was? He's like, I saw it in a book once, and I'm like, Vector, no. Ain't Game of Thrones in here, no. Nico already offed himself. Yeah, honestly, the whole thing with Nico is something I was super worried about. That was one of those things that I was like, I almost was considering like changing kind of how much was shown in that scene. One of the reasons I hesitated making chapter 12 the way I did in the final version was because in the first version, where it was just exposition, there was even less focus placed on that, on those events. And so, you know, that was like the one thing I was really nervous about, was like kind of portraying that in the comic, but... You know, yeah, well, if you're worried about spoilers, you should go read the comic, wink. I think enough was shown that you knew what was going on, but not enough to traumatize you. That was the goal, right? That was very much the goal. If The Last Airbender can handle genocide, I'm sure you can include some darker stuff. Yeah, that's what I keep telling myself, right? I do often describe Cast Off, like the vibes and kind of the tone of it being somewhere between Full Metal Alchemist and Avatar: The Last Airbender, because those are like two of my favorite shows of all time. And so it's kind of like writing a weird middle ground. Like, it's more violent and it's got darker topics than Avatar, but like it does still have some similarities in how some of the stuff is going to play out. Which FMA? Kind of both, but mostly Brotherhood. That's the one I'm more familiar with. I think you did a good enough job foreshadowing Nico's death that I kind of expected to come up. It gives a bit of time to mentally prepare. Yeah. That's what I was hoping. I mean, the man had death flags written all over him, right? So like, yeah, full disclosure, I watched the original FMA when I was in middle school because Brotherhood was not out at the time. I don't remember much about it. But I did read the manga, and I've, you know, when I think of Full Metal Alchemist, I think of the manga specifically. Because, like, I think the perfect Full Metal Alchemist anime lies somewhere between the original and Brotherhood. Because, like, you know, Brotherhood is phenomenal after you get to the after you get past the parts that the original anime covered, but I feel like they were so obsessed with, like, getting through the stuff that the original anime had covered that they really crammed a lot of it in there. And it was kind of disappointing that they didn't, like... A friend of mine a long time ago said that the ideal way to consume Full Metal Alchemist as an anime was to start with the original series and watch that up to, like, episode 20-something when they first meet, like, Greed and the Chimeras and all that. And then past that point, switch to Brotherhood, because that's the point in the story where Brotherhood gets good. The FMA manga is the best series ever. Yeah, I'm in the process of collecting the hardcover re-releases for the original manga. I'm searching for volume 5 right now, I think. It's just one of those things where it's like whenever I'm at the bookstore, I check to see if they have the next volume that I need. I can't buy manga out of order. I have to buy them in order because it feels right. Somewhat related, but I personally love how you depicted the descent of Nico, so to speak. I am glad. I was very worried about, like, Nico and his whole thing. But I, like, not to toot my own horn or anything, but, like, I think it was effective. I think it did what I needed it to do. Do I feel bad? Kinda. But, I mean, you know, sometimes you gotta go there, right? Sometimes you gotta cover shit. And it's like... show don't tell, you know? So I actually did hint at this, and I don't think there's actually any harm in confirming it. I was making little, like, silly tee-hee comments on the Patreon channel in Discord that I have a special little surprise for patrons in a couple weeks once I run out of world building pages to post on there. I've been posting world building pages for Patreons ever since the hiatus started for them, because Patreon is ahead. Like, you guys on the main website are just now starting to get the world building pages, but Patreons have been getting the world building pages for a couple weeks now already. But I told Patreons I had a special little surprise planned for when I run out of world building pages. And I didn't say what it was, but I think I can go ahead and say what it was, because enough people had requested it that I just went ahead and did it. I am posting the entirety of what the original script for Chapter 12 looked like on Patreon. For you guys to have a peek at. Basically, it was like the original version of the script, where it was all just exposition. It was basically just like a sage monologue that lasted like 10 pages. And it was very, like, the events were very similar, but it was structured entirely different. And so that will be posted on Patreon at the end of the month as a special little treat for you guys. It's like 1,000 words. It's really not that much. But originally Chapter 12 was gonna be just like, the first half or third of the chapter was gonna be everything that was covered by the modern day Chapter 12. Because here, let me give you guys a visual. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Okay, so we have the original timeline and the current canon timeline. The original was that Chapter 12, the very start of the chapter, was the Nico Sage backstory. And then the rest of this chapter was all the other shit. And that was the original Chapter 12. It started with the Nico Sage backstory, or bullshit, depending on how you want to view that acronym. And then all the other shit was that. And so what I did in the current canon... Let me move this down so I have more space to write. I have now broken it into 2 chapters because chapter 12 ended up being way longer because I spread it out. Because in the original version, the Nico Sage backstory was entirely done through exposition. Exposition via Sage. Sage basically monologued for like 10 to 15 comic pages about his tragic backstory, and then the rest of chapter 12 was all the shit that happens immediately after. But in the current canon, I actually gave this its own chapter so I could show everything, but that meant that chapter 12, like all of the Nico Sage backstory lasted way longer, and so I broke it up, and so now chapter 13 is all the other shit. So basically I took this chapter and I broke it up into 2 parts. But what I posted on Patreon is this. The entire script for what chapter 12 was originally. It's not on Patreon yet. It'll be posted, I believe, on the 31st? Like the very end of January, I believe, if I'm doing my math right. But yeah, so that is scheduled. That is in the queue for folks to enjoy. I posted like snippets of it, but I never posted the entire thing because I posted those snippets before chapter 12 was over. And I didn't want to spoil things. Just, you know, a little treat. A little treat for the Patreons. For the lovely patrons who support me and have been begging me to see that. Even though I personally don't think it's super duper interesting, it's literally just like, hey, this is what it could have been. It's pretty similar, it's just more boring. But the people wanted it, so who am I to deny them? Who am I to deny what the people want? Sage, monologues for an entire page, the rest of the cast, cool story bow. Yeah, basically. I mean, all of the part after, like, Sage's expedition dump, like, played out almost identically to what the final version ended up being. And I do, like, mark that in the script. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna stop here because past this point, it's basically exactly the same as how it played out in the comic. But still fun. Still fun. Ah. Sage monologues about his dead boyfriend. Okay, so now that the chapter has passed, I can talk about this. One of the reasons I was like, yeah, you can ship Sage and Nico, but it is very explicitly not canon. The reason I was so emphatic about that is because I knew that Nico was gonna die, obviously. And I knew that if I even hinted even a little bit, people were gonna accuse me of killing my gays. And I'm like, no, no, put it down. Put it down. They are very explicitly not canon. I don't mind if you guys head canon. I don't mind. Ship what you want to ship. But I will not be accused of queer baiting. I will not be. I will not be. I was very explicit about it not being canon. Sage is super fucking aromantic, asexual, and Nico is so upset over the dead fiance that he got his friend to rip his soul apart so he wouldn't be sad anymore. They are not in love. Weren't you accused of being queerbaiting already because of Nico and Sage? Yes, and that was why it drove me so crazy. I couldn't go fully into detail because, you know, I didn't want to spoil it. But, like, I was like, why are you already accusing me of queerbaiting? They're literally just having a fucking conversation with each other. And I saw people who were like, Star's writing some of the most, like, explicitly romantic scenes that have been in the comics so far. And honestly, I can tell that they're not going to end up together, so it's just queerbaiting. I'm like, my friend, I believe you are queerbaiting yourself. They are just, it's like, we are just sitting here. It's like that fucking meme. It's like 2 men in a room having a conversation. Neither of them is gay. And then the people are like banging their fists on the table and being like, Star's queerbaiting us! And I'm like, I think you need to put that word down until you learn what it means. I think we need to put that word away. I think you guys have maybe been playing with this toy and you don't know fully what it does. I think we need to put the toy down until we learn what it's capable of, okay? I think we maybe need to, like, stop throwing the term queerbaiting around until you learn what the word queerbaiting means. You know, maybe just a wacky, crazy an idea. There's no such thing as male friendships, basically. This is the vibe I'm getting. Dude bros, talking in a bedroom. If they're not gay, the artist is queerbaiting them. Shit is wild, gang. And it's like, again, I don't mind if people ship them. I get it. But to accuse me of queerbaiting, and I'm just sitting over here, like, with my nails in my thigh going, Nico dies at the end of this chapter. I'm like, Nico's not gonna survive this chapter, and they're already accusing me of queerbaiting. He's like, what the fuck do I do? The internet was a mistake sometimes. Is this barrier gay? No, because they're not gay! Ah! And I, like, explicitly did not have them have any kind of romantic inkling towards each other at all, because I did not want to get accused of that. And yet they did it anyway! And I'm like, no. Please! I am doing my best over here! Please! And yeah, I don't know if maybe, like, these people's opinions changed once, like, you know, 3 pages later. Literally, it was like 3 pages later. People were accusing me of queerbaiting in the very first scene. Like, we had not even gotten to the scene where it's like, Nico is talking about his dead fiance and Sage is basically, I am Aero Ace and I am not giving any kind of, like, I am not interested in romance at all. I was getting those accusations before that scene happened because, you know, people jump into shipping mode as soon as they see 2 characters lock eyes with each other. And so I don't know if maybe those people were like, oh, you know, maybe I should have hold my horses a little bit. It's like, okay, now that, you know, there's more context for these characters. I don't know. And quite frankly, I don't care because they've already shown that it's fucking wild. And I'm like, I don't think that these are people whose opinions I really need to care that much about because they're so obsessed with queerbaiting themselves. Maybe I'm good. Ugh. 2 characters made eye contact for 3 seconds, therefore they must be married by the next page or else it's queerbaiting. That's literally what it felt like. That is quite genuinely what it felt like. And again, I was just like, that meme of the guy with like his claws in his thigh going like, Nico does not survive this chapter. They're shipping them despite the fact that I very explicitly say in the comic that they have no romantic inclinations toward each other. Which means I'm probably gonna get burying your gay comments as well, despite all of me pushing back against it, being like, hey guys, you're allowed to ship them if you want, but maybe give them a sec, cause some shit's gonna happen. The good news is, you know, I can't control or see what people do in like their private Discord servers or whatever, but at the very least, myself, I did not get any, like, mean anonymous comments. I did not get anything. I have not had or seen any killing your gay comments. So what I'm hoping is that, you know, the people who rabidly shipped Nico and Sage the instant that Nico showed up, maybe, like, figured out more of the vibes once Sage started talking about how he's like, I'm not interested in romance at all. And Nico was like, I'm so sad about my dead fiance. I'm hoping that maybe they figured their shit out after that page went up, and then they realized, okay, these guys are just friends. So the killing your gays comments will be unnecessary once that finally happens. I I don't know if you've ever heard of the podcast Malevolent. I have heard of it only because like one person I follow on Tumblr is obsessed with it and keeps drawing fan art. But I've never listened to it. It's currently a 5-season podcast where the creator says the 2 main male leads are never going to be romantic, and yet. Yeah, it's like shippers are going to ship, but it's just hard when people say, like, they ship 2 characters, even though you are pretty explicit about the 2 characters never going to be in a romantic relationship, and people still get mad and, like, say rude things to you when the ships don't end up their way. And I'm just like, you know, maybe I'm okay with having a smaller fandom. Because this is not something that would have happened like 4 or 5 years ago, right? It's just, it's woof. Woof. Fandom's gonna fandom. Fandom's gonna fandom. I am eternally just like reading comments and looking at people and just being like, guys, let me cook. We're gonna make it through this, chat. I just need you to let me cook. Wait like 3 pages before you make queerbaiting accusations. Please. If I want them to be seen as romantic, I won't. It's like, listen, I'm not going to spoil any things, but there will be signs. Where's my water? Anyway. But, you know, like, as I said earlier, let me cook, all right? Let me cook. Let me cook. It's gotta be satisfying. We gotta work for it, you know? We gotta work for it. Don't laugh at that. Don't laugh at that. Don't pfft in my chat. I won't tell anyone if I win the lottery, but there will be signs. You need to drink some hecking water. Clearly I do. Star has to cook a pizza. Yeah, we're still in the preheating the oven phase, guys. The pizza's coming. There's signs that the pizza is going to occur. But I haven't even turned on the oven yet, bros. We're still prepping the ingredients. Let me cook. I gotta cook the pizza before we can enjoy it. There's a difference between, you know, some shows, some pieces of media will just fucking pop up frozen pizza in the microwave and be done with it. And you know, if that's what you're into, if you just really, really want that pizza real fast, then that's fine. You can do that. That's fine. And you know, sometimes I like those kind of stories. I love a story with like, sometimes you just want to eat a frozen pizza and that's fine. We're doing like a nice pizza here. I'm like chopping up the ingredients. I'm like shredding the cheese. I made the sauce from scratch. I made the dough last night and I'm rising. I let the dough rise overnight. And I'm like being very delicate with all my choices of ingredients. And I'm like letting you guys watch the entire process of me putting this pizza together. It's very satisfying. And so, you know, like I'm doing all this with my hope that when the pizza finally comes out of the oven, it will be extremely satisfying and delicious for you guys. You gotta let me cook. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Did you get advice from Sage and Nico? Sage and Nico put the pizza in the microwave and it caught on fire. They cannot be trusted with pizza. And that's not a metaphor, that's just me legitimately saying do not trust Sage in the kitchen. You guys saw what he did. You guys saw what he did. Why is there talk of pizza? I'm confused. It was a joke when, there was a joke about pizza when Chapter 12 was coming out because I censored, spoilers on stream with a pizza, like a pizza JPEG. Seven, thank you for the super chat. I will poof if I so choose. Also get water. I have water. I have it. Oh shit, I splashed it on myself because I was trying to make a noise. See, listen. ASMR, listen, this is my water bottle that I have that has water in it. Wow, are you guys ready for the Star ASMR channel? ASM Star is sipping my fucking water. Delicious. Delicious. Now I do gratuitous tippy taps gratuitous tippy taps on the surface. Is this good for you guys? And now I'm going to take another. Okay, I promise that's the last time I'll do that to you guys. ASMR is supposed to be quiet. Well, if it's quiet, then people aren't gonna believe me when I say that I'm drinking my water. People are not gonna believe me. Start big water, drink delicious. Yeah, just like gulp right into the mic, like glug, glug, glug. Mmm, delicious ASMR. Yippee! Nah, jokes aside, I actually have been listening to more ASMR recently. It's such a big hit or miss for me. Like, I found like exactly 2 people who do ASMR that I like. 3 people. 3 people. But it's just like, you know, I do enjoy the brain tingles, and I like to put on just like some white noise ASMR in the background while I'm writing because it makes my brain less noisy. ASMR is just supposed to incite the autosomnic meridian response. All it's got to do is send a shiver up your spine. Yes, that's true, but like a lot of my favorite ASMR videos are ones where it's like, it's the tingles combined with like a nice vibe, you know? Like my favorite types are the ones with no talking. It's just like, I've talked about like the wood soup videos that I love so much. It's just like people putting like little wooden beads in water and just like gently stirring them, and you just like listen to the sound of the little wood beads against the edge of the bowl and like the little scoop and the little water bloops. And it's just like, it's very nice. It's very relaxing. And sometimes they'll put, my favorites are when they layer that with like fire crackling background noise or like rain background noise. It doesn't get the tingles very much for me anymore. I think I've kind of gotten too used to it. But it just kind of like, it's good background noise for when I'm working and I don't want to get too distracted, because like it gives me the sense of like, okay, I am listening to something. This is good, but it's not so distracting that I can't actually get my work done. So I have like 2 types of ASMR that I listen to. I have that type, which is like the I am working and I need to focus type of ASMR, which is mostly just like wood soup videos. There's a creator who does like, that's like all they do is wood soup videos. She's called Wood Soup Girl on YouTube. And I've just got like a couple of faves from that channel that I go back to. They've got like some 8-hour like wood soup videos that I keep coming back to. I've got them in like my favorites playlist. I'm just like, okay, I need to write a blog post. Turns on my little wood soup videos in the background and then just brrr, brrr. I just go crazy. Here, let me find one of my favorites and I can give you guys, because I feel like some of you guys are thinking that this is more complicated than it actually is. Let me find a sample that I can show you guys. Because like sometimes for me, like even music is too distracting. Even like lo-fi music is too distracting. So here. This one is one of my favorites. The sounds are like very crinkly, and it's just like this nice little like kind of like crackling noise. It's got like wood burning in the background, and it's just like, ah yes, this is nice little white noise for me. Brrr, write my blog post. You guys just have to assume that every single Patreon post I make that's longer than like 10 words was written with something like this in the background. I cannot work without my tunes, hecking blasting the English covers of anime intros and outros. Yeah, see, my thing is like, if I'm drawing, I can put whatever the hell I want in the background, but specifically when I'm writing, I cannot have words in my ears because it just like, it short circuits my brain. And I'm just like, nope, it's gonna, because what I'll do is like, I'll be typing like a cast off or a video script, and I'll accidentally start typing the lyrics. And I'm like, oh well shit. It's too distracting if the music has words. I will admit though, again, really hit or miss. Once you start adding talking to the ASMR, it's really a hit or miss. Because, like, my little wood soup videos, they're extremely inoffensive. It's just, like, little bleeps and bloops. Little, like, bloop, 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 bloop. Nice water noises, little bleep bloops. Little, like, wood noises and water noises and bloop, bloop, bloops. It's very inoffensive, very easy. Once we get into, like, talky ASMR videos, I hate 90% of them. Because people do, like, there's like the vocal tics I hate that people like they do them because it's supposed to be like a common like ASMR trigger, and they'll be like like in between their words. I'm like, are you trying to summon snakes from the brush? Stop it. What are you doing? And some of them just like get a little just like too much, and I'm like is like, nope. This is so many videos I just like, okay, abort mission. I tried it. I hate this. And I like abort out of them within like 2 minutes. But there's a couple of folks where I don't watch every single video they have done. I just have like 1 or 2 emotionally supportive, specific videos from these specific creators. I don't watch 90% of the stuff they do. But I just have like 1 or 2 videos that give me the good brain tingles, and I put those ones in a playlist, and those are like the only ones I watch. But I will watch those on loop. When I'm just like laying in bed and trying to sleep, and it's just like, your voice is very nice, and you don't do any of like the aggressive tippy taps or anything, and your accent is nice, and I'm just gonna listen to you talk quietly for a couple minutes while I conk out to sleep. And maybe I will get a little bit of the tingles from it, but I'm not gonna count on it. I just like the relaxing energy, the relaxing vibes, you know? Especially because, if you guys could not tell, your girly is very easily stressed out. And so I will take just about anything that will help with that. Let me just inform you guys how so many things in my home are lavender scented because it's supposed to help with stress. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. So many things in my home are lavender scented because someone told me once it was good for relaxation and stress, and I'm like, yup, buys everything lavender scented now. But yeah, so like, if you guys promise not to shame me, I can talk about some of the talky videos I like. They're very specifically just like lady with a nice British accent making tea type of shit. And it's just like, and it's like, all right, I'm going to make a cup of tea for you. And now I'm going to like very, very gently like pour the water into the cup of tea. And then I'm going to talk about the process of making the tea. And here's the little bag of the loose tea leaves. And I'm going to read the back and put like nice emphasis on all of the words and just talk through it very slowly. And I have my really nice mic settings. They're just like very nice. And it picks up a lot of like the nice sounds of the human voice. That sounds lovely, actually. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I like. Like, sometimes it veers, it's hard for me to, like, recommend them to people, because it's like, some people might judge me a little bit for like, because they are, like, technically a little bit hinging on, like, roleplay ASMR, but it's like, I don't do, like, that kind of stuff. It's just like, you know, they're talking specifically to you. And it's just like, hello, I'm going to be making you specifically a nice cup of tea. And there's going to be, like, some nice rain sounds and stuff like that. The main creator I've been watching recently is Whispers Red. She does a lot of, like, the spa roleplay stuff, which I'm not really into. But she's got several videos that are like what I just described. Where it's like, I'm just going to make and talk my way through making a nice cup of loose leaf tea. And I'm going to, like, very, very gently, like, crinkle the tea bag so that you get, like, the nice little, like, paper sounds. And she's going to, like, kind of spread the tea leaves out on a towel. And it just, like, makes these really nice sounds. And it's like, okay, now we're going to gently pour the water into the mug. It's very soothing. It's very soothing. But yeah, like that's very specifically the type of stuff I like. If it goes too far into like the role play, I can't really get into it. But it's just like, I like the nice sounds and I like the relaxing atmosphere, you know, with just like a little bit of like rain sounds looped into the background. It's just, it's nice. It's nice. And that specific creator, that ASM artist, Whispers Red, she's got like this, she's got a British accent, and I will admit, I am weak. I am weak to the fancy European accents. Which ones? All of them. I feel, it's so funny that Jay picked a Scottish accent for Rodin before ever knowing how weak I get to the Scottish accent. Very specifically because of Elvis Bravely Default 2. And I'm not ashamed of that. I am not ashamed of that. That man is goofy, but he's so much fun. And I'm like, is this why you like Bravely Default 2? No! It was the other way around. Honestly, it was less that and more like, oh, Elvis is fun. He's my favorite character. He has a Scottish accent. I love Scottish accents now. But also it's like a lot of my favorite YouTubers have like the European accents, and I'm just like, I just like people to talk to me who are not American. I love accents in general. I love it like when you have like a different way of saying things. I just think it's so charming. I don't care what accent you have. It's nice. But a cameo from Elvis's voice. He does cameos. Oh no, you should not have told me that. That is dangerous information for me to know. That is very dangerous information for you to have presented to me on a silver platter. Oh no. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this information now. But he's my fucking favorite character in almost anything of anything, so uh-oh. That is dangerous for me to know. His cameo proceeds go to charity. God! Beautiful! Love him! Ah! Love him and the character he plays. God damn it! Ah! Play Bravely Default 2. It's a very good game. And it has best boy in the entire world, Elvis, in it. I love it. I've really been meaning to replay Bravely Default 2. Here, hey, actually, if you guys want to experience Bravely Default 2, but you don't have time or the money to play it yourself, I streamed that entire game. I streamed the entire game. It's like, it's still archived on this channel. On this channel, not even on my second one. That's from back in my Twitch streaming days. The audio quality on my mic is not amazing, but you guys can watch me fangirl over Elvis for like 20 plus hours. You just stick that on in the background for a while. He's just a dumb himbo who loves his friends so much and keeps setting himself on fire. And I adore him. Chad, I adore him. Your voice is ASMR to me, honestly. I like the way you enunciate words. It feels nice on my ears. That is genuinely such a wonderful comment. I am so glad for that, because I always worry that my voice is annoying. Whispery British accents really hit me in the good feelings when they reach my eardrums. Yes. Yes. Just like any European accent to me is just like, yay! I like the way you talk, fancy man! I like the way you talk, fancy man! Yippee! That's me, is like anytime anybody has any kind of accent ever, I'm like, yippee! Say more words right now! But yeah. I actually have been thinking it might be fun to like not do some like full whisper ASMR. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna subject you guys to that. But I think it would be fun to, in the future, carve out like some specific streams that are meant more for just like no yelling, No loud talking. Just talking kind of like at a low volume, just kind of just mostly just like a calm, relaxing little work stream. I'll play some just soft music in the background, and it can be like a sleep aid type thing. I wouldn't do the whispers. I'm not gonna do the whisper ASMR because I'm really not into that so much, but I do some chill streams. ASMR do not kill. Yeah, it's just me saying do not kill over and over again for an hour with slightly different enunciation each time. As someone with sensory issues, I can't imagine how you all enjoy ASMR. It causes me literal physical pain and shivers for hours. Yeah, it's definitely not something for everybody, but you know. A lot of the time it really is just you gotta find like specifically what you enjoy, because I feel like a lot of ASMR is just tap on weird surface with long fingernails. And that I'm not really into. But it's just like, you know, you find the right person with the right voice and the right mic settings, and it hits the brain just right. A video that starts as a whisper ASMR but gradually becomes a Lovecraft horror story. Honestly, I think it would be really fun to do like some reading streams where I just like read some shit to you guys. But I don't know if that would be weird. I like descriptive ASMRs. Yes, for me, a lot of the times it's a mix of the quality of the voice and also just like specifically the words they are saying. I love it when people kind of like talk through the process of what they're doing. I can't stand ASMR because it feels like my personal space is getting invaded. That one I very much understand, because a lot of like, I kind of had to work myself up to getting those. That's again why I started with the wood soup videos, because it's literally just like, hey, you want to hear some quirky little sounds? Splish, splish, splash. And I'm like, yeah, okay, this works. And then I like slowly but surely worked my way into the more talky ones. Some of the talky ones, like, again, it really is hit or miss. Because some of the talky ones are very much just like, hi, I'm really up in your business and I'm going to give you a haircut now. And I'm like, no, we don't need to be doing this. But sometimes it's nice. I found like a handful of specific videos where it's just like, I'm willing to like push my boundaries a little bit with what I usually am into, just because the audio quality is extremely nice and it does actually give me the tingles real good. Yeah. It's not for everybody. But it is a very pleasant sensation if you actually get it to happen. I have been like I've put like a simple ASMR video on my phone and just like lay in bed and play like Spvwvky game for the last couple of nights. That's just nice. This is just like start trying to relax. It's just like little bit of Spvwvky game, little bit of like soft relaxing audio to wind down before bed. That's kind of become that's been my nightly routine for the past couple of days. That's nice. But yeah, I acknowledge that it's very much not everyone's thing, but you know, it wasn't my thing for a while, and I finally found like people who actually do stuff that I enjoy. And so I'm like, okay. Spvwvky game is relaxing. It's relaxing in that it doesn't have a plot I have to worry about, and it's not like combat. It's just like doot doot doot. Make the fruits touch, that kind of shit. It's simple, it does not require brain power, and for me that is relaxing. Zero brain power activities are how the star relaxes. Because my brain goes 1,000 miles an hour on a daily basis. So anything that can make the brain not go, I will consider relaxing. Circling back to it, that is why I've started getting attached to just like the ASMR videos I can put on in the background, because it gives my brain something to focus on without actually needing to focus on what's being said. It's nice. But yes, I think I have babbled about ASMR for far too long. But I don't know what I want to change the subject to. I've not been doing a very good job of keeping up with my shit I want to talk about on stream list. Just because a lot of these streams have been really impromptu. The main reason I've been streaming so much recently is A, I gotta do the work anyway, so I might as well stream it, and B, I want to make sure that my editor is fed before I go on vacation for like a month. You know? I gotta make sure that Leevely has some good clips to make. Hi, Leevely. Leevely, you're doing a good job! I appreciate you so much! Surprise compliments midstream! Sip my water. Here. I'll be right back. I gotta go blow my nose real quick. It's happening again. I've been talking too long. Oh shit, it got dark. I gotta close my blinds too. Ah! Okay, I'm back. I gotta close the blinds behind my window, though. Or by my desk. Hiya. Hiya! Yippee! Alright. And I have a sip. Alright. Leevely, your highlights got me into watching streams, so thank you for making them. Yeah! Everybody say nice things about Leevely! They've been doing a good job! They've been doing a good job. They've been making my stream clips for me, and I am eternally grateful. Oh, speaking of, actually, I unpinned it for a little bit because I was talking about my podcast, but I should repin the link to my second channel. We are close to, I'm trying to get the second channel up to 5K subscribers, and we're getting close. But that video is gonna be posting, or that channel, my second channel, is where I've been posting highlights from all of my streams, because Leevely has been making them for me. Oh, it's a Livali is how you spell their name. But yeah, I think I spelled it right. I don't remember. It's in the, I'm not good at spelling. But yeah, I put their name and their website in the credits of all of my stream highlights. How did I not know I have a second channel? Because I don't advertise it as much as I should, quite frankly. But I have been paying a dear friend to make my little highlights for me. And I'm trying to grow my audience over there so that hopefully I can eventually break even on the cost of getting the clips edited. Yes, thank you, Sly. That is how you spell it. Throat's doing something weird. All right. Gotta be good here. Do I wanna? No. All right. But yes, my goal with the second channel is it's kind of already accomplishing what I wanted it to do. I'm trying to get, you know, like, increase my viewership on my streams. And I think that the stream highlights are absolutely helping with that, so that's been great. But But, you know, also I'm like, it's two birds with one stone, right? Because I'm also like extremely happy that I get to help and support one of my friends. And my goal is that eventually I will be breaking even on the cost of getting the shorts edited. And then once they're making enough revenue, I can just like give all of the revenue for the second channel to Leavely. Give them a raise. Because it's like, I don't really need I'm not doing the second channel for like the ad revenue there. I'm using it as like a marketing tool, essentially. Because like I get plenty of ad revenue and like sponsorship revenue from the main channel. And so I'm like perfectly happy with, you know, just like letting that money go towards the friend who is making all the stuff for that channel. But right now it is not breaking even on the cost of getting them edited. So I am in the process right now. My current goal is to build the following over there. Which, you know, work in progress, but we are getting a little, we are slowly moving up in the world. Posting clips. And I do have enough clips in the backlog that we're going to be posting 2 to 3 times a week for the entirety of my vacation. So even though I will be on hiatus, you guys will get 2 clips a week. And even a couple shorts every now and then. So if you guys like those, you should definitely subscribe. Go subscribe. Scrib. Go scrib and then watch those vids. Alright, so I think we're done with the inks here. So I'm going to hide the sketch for right now, and I will flat. I have my color reference open down here. I've already decided what all the flat colors are going to look like. So then it's just a matter of fill bucketing them in. Whee! Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna finish this print on today's stream, but at the very least would like to get close, is what I'm trying to say. Your art style is so cute. Thank you! I do my very best. Spot. Me and my best friend Phil Bucket out here doing the work. Aw, yes! Pink. Oh, wait, that's not supposed to be pink. There we go. Words are hard today. Very much. It's been a long week. This week has felt like a whole year. Ba-da-ba. Stupid joke. I should get pink heart overalls. I don't know if, like, this exact kind exists. It's kind of an amalgamation of a couple of different, overall designs I saw on Pinterest when I was doing research. Because Ariana's outfit is inspired by this one fit that I saw on Pinterest that I really liked, but that person just had like a baggy sweater and like the white shorts, and I thought it was really cute. But I was like, okay, but consider instead of shorts, overalls. Because I don't wear them very often, but I love a cute overalls. They cute. I love a cute overalls. She's very just like, Ariana's like very, like kind of a light, they're both kind of based on like a strawberry coloration. Ariana's very heavily like, you know, like a strawberries and cream type of look. And Marina's very much like a chocolate strawberry kind of thing. Like one of those chocolate strawberries with like the white frosting drizzle is kind of like, that color scheme is kind of what I was going for. Is like kind of like the nice deep reds with the browns and like just a little splash of white. Just like a little splash of white. Here, I can actually open the sticker designs because I went back and did some tweaks. Or is a strawberry milkshake? Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, so there is Ariana's and there is Marina's. So here, let me put them side by side. So we have kind of like the strawberries and cream strawberry milkshake outfit kind of color scheme over here. And then we've got kind of like the chocolate strawberry look with like mostly brown and red, but with like a little splash of white. Just a little splash of white for accents, you know? You know, especially on like the bows with like the deep red and the brown, but then also like the lace with the white. Yippee! I just really love designing outfits, and I'm glad that folks in the mail club tolerate my shenaniganery. I'm glad that you guys tolerate my shenanigans, because I do love a shenanigan. I do love to design a little outfit. Okay, but I do need to put this up here. Yeah, because I need to see the reference lines of where the colors change. What's the point of making characters if you don't put them in silly outfits? Yes, exactly! Original characters are meant for two things. 1, put them in situations. 2, put them in silly outfits. Ready, go. This is what they are made for. This is what you were designed for. This is what you were built to do. Put on the maid dress. The heck did I just walk in on? Get in the maid dress! I actually, I drew Lapis in a maid dress recently just because, you know, she works at a tavern. I could draw her in a cute little, like, tavern maid outfit. She'd look adorable. And you know what, chat? She did. She did look adorable. She's baby. Lapis is baby. And she's being haunted by some asshole. But it's okay. They'll figure it out eventually. She's very grumpy though. The next couple sessions are gonna be fucking wild with them. I'm so excited. I'm so giddy. I'm just like bouncing up and down. I'm like, tee-hee-hee, 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 shit's happening. People are, the connections are starting to come unraveled. The shenanigans are shenaniganing. Ee-hee-hee. Next Mail Club maid theme. Bold of you to assume I have not already done this. Bold of you to assume I have not already drawn them all as maids. Bold of you to assume that. Ahaha. Ehehe. Ehehe. Oh boy, I borked this up at some point. Oh, my colors are going outside the lines. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna... I just need to not expand quite so much. I'll do 3 pixels instead of 10. That should be plenty. There. I have that Mail Club printout up on my corkboard and I go to sleep every night looking at it. Aww! The maids! I don't think I could stand drawing frills on a regular basis, but God, they're fun to draw sometimes, just as like a little treat. Little treat for me. Ariana, I completely forgot to color your hair, girl. There you go. There you go. Okay, and then she's got this little bonbon that I need to sample colors from somewhere. Little bonbon. Very cute. With the pink icing. And the white little drizzle on top. Yippee. Yippee! I also have so many other cast-off prints on my corkboard, but I have some Ari prints on my wall above my bed. I'm being cast off from both sides. You're being flanked. You're surrounded. Whether that is a good or a bad thing is entirely up to personal preference. When will the D&D video be out? Every time I get asked that, I lose 5 years off my life. It'll be out when it comes out. It'll be out when it's done. I'm dying. Knife through the heart. Knife through the vital organs. No, it's okay. I don't have an estimated date, but right now my very gung-ho goal, I'm very focused on, is I want to be done with all of the art, all of the storyboards. I want to be done by the time my break is over. I genuinely think, and this is not just me coping and being optimistic, this is a genuine, this is a fully reasonable thing that I think I can get done. If I just sit and focus on the D&D video for 2 weeks, I can probably get all of the art done. I can probably get all of the storyboards finished in 2 weeks. I just have not had time to sit down and do the damn thing because I've been so busy and focused on other things, you know? Ugh. Ugh. Oh no, I just realized I didn't draw the ruffles on on Marina's other sleeve. Oh, they've disappeared. Did I have that in the sketch? I did not. I completely forgot to sketch that part. Well, we're going in raw again. Don't say it like that. Dear self, don't say it like that. We're going in without a sketch. We're improvising. Oh god, chat, she's doing it. Why did I say it like that? No. That's so inappropriate. I'm sorry, Marina. I'm sorry. I'm just yeah, I don't need to sketch that. I'll just go in unprepared. It's fine. We're doing it live. That's a much better. Yeah, I'm gonna use that. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. Ignore the thing that I just said earlier. Ignore the other thing. It's just because I keep having silly little conversations with myself where I say that I'm raw dogging my mental health, and I think it's funny. Because sometimes it's fun to say things with inappropriate metaphors. I need to stop. Someone needs to throw a stop sign at me, and then it will go clong, and it will bounce off my head, and then I will be knocked unconscious, and I will go into a coma. And then I will sleep for 1,000 years. It's not healthy, though. It's just because I have probably ADHD. I'm not diagnosed, but emphatically peer-reviewed. And I was thinking about I might, actually start the process of trying to get into therapy this coming year. And it's just been a thought that's been in my head. And I'm yeah, because up until now, I've just been kind of raw dogging my mental health. And I'm yeah, it's kind of funny. I'll keep saying that. Or consider, hit the gas, joyride into the accused. Saven, I don't think you realize that you're the one who's been screaming at me to rest, but you fail to understand that is what I have been doing, and that is what has gotten me into this overly stressed out situation. Hitting the gas and joyriding into the accursed is how the D&D video happened in the first place. You really sure that's what you want to encourage? You really sure that's what you want to encourage? Because we've seen what happens with that. You know what happens when you hit the gas? You wind up with 4 jobs in a trench coat. It's probably start you have ADHD. See? Peer-reviewed. Peer-reviewed. I've not gotten a doctor to tell me to sit me down and point blank say, yeah, you have ADHD. But everybody knows. Everybody and their mom just fucking knows. Not diagnosed, officially, but I have been very emphatically peer-reviewed. As someone with ADHD and autism, I know when I see one. See, I'm unsure about the autism, but I defo have ADHD, right? Because it's like, you know, I've seen all these people, like, talk about, like, autism and how, like, kind of their brains work and how they function and stuff like that. And like when I started seeing videos like that talking about ADHD, I was like, oh yeah, I can really relate to that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe I have ADHD. But you know, I see the videos like talking about it's like this is kind of what having autism is like, and I'm like, I don't relate to this at all. So it's like I got a lot of friends who are in on the autism spectrum, and it's to the point where I'm just like, welcome to the club, high fives. I don't know if I'm in it. I might be. I don't think I am. But, whatever. The ADHD is unquestionable, but the rest of it is like, I'll see what a therapist says. Those I feel like are more subtle. Because it's like, you know, I think the main thing about autism that I can relate to is the hyperfocus, because I feel like I've definitely, like, I can get into moods, right? I mean, you guys saw my planner meltdown. You guys have been here. You all see how I do the planner shit. And here I am slowly falling into the fountain pen rabbit hole. Whoa! Someone drag me away, please. But it's just like, I don't know if that's just like, I don't know if that's hyperfixation or just being excited about something. I don't know. I don't know. That's the type of thing where it's like, you know, if a therapist, like, pokes around in there and is like, yeah, you probably have autism, I'd be like, okay, you know best. But either I'm just like, either I'm gonna be like, yep, shrug, whatever. The ADHD though, that's like 100%. As someone with autism, I don't think you have autism. I don't feel the vibes. Yeah, that's kind of my, you don't really have, as an autist, you don't really have the same vibe. Yeah, see, the peer review committee says probably not. The classic situation of being neurodivergent and there being enough overlap that it's hard to say which ones. Yeah, exactly. I'm autistic and I technically wouldn't entirely doubt it for you, but I also don't really think so. Yeah, like I said, I've seen people talk about autism and how it affects them. Like I don't want to out specific people, you know, if they want to talk about it, they can talk about it. But like I have very close members of my family who are autistic, and like we talked about it in depth. I have very close friends who are autistic, and we have talked about it at length. And some of them think that I might be, but most of them are like, probably not. And it's like, I've never really, like, seen people talking about their autism and being like, oh my god, that's so me, though. Like, ADHD, I definitely get that. Autism, not so much. It's like, I don't know what's going on up there, but something may, right? The autism didn't get carried down to you, I guess. Yeah. I don't know what's going on up there, but something may, right? I saw like a Tumblr meme with that on it, and I'm like, yeah. Some people I know think I have autism since I'm so quiet and keep to myself, but they don't get it. I'm just antisocial and rude. Yeah, my thing is just like, I'm just real fucking shy. It's like, I don't really have a problem like reading people or interpreting things. I don't find myself to be overly literal the way a lot of like autistic folks have described their experiences in like trying to understand people. That has never been my experience. I honestly, like, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I honestly think I'm pretty good at reading people in general. You know, nobody's nerfect, but I like to think that I'm generally pretty good at sussing out the vibes, right? I had a point I was going somewhere with this and I got distracted and now I don't remember. Autistic or not, Star, you do write some very good autistic coded characters whether you intend to or not. Yeah, we talked about that earlier on in the stream. It's like, it was not intentional, and so I'm not going to come out here and say, yes, I have given you all this delicious representation, eat it out of the palm of my hands, delicious. Because it's like, I didn't intend that, but like, I have no problem with people headcanoning my characters that way. It's like, yeah, I get what they're saying. Yeah, I can see it. It's like, listen, it was not intentional, but the vibes are there, and I get it. Po Buddy's nerfect. Have you guys never heard that? Have you guys never heard? Come on, I didn't come up with that. I was just riffing with Jay about that quote the other day in DMs. It's funny. I'm not taking credit for that. I did not come up with that. That's not a starism. That is somebody said that at some point. I don't know who, but they were very clever about it. It's because I was rewatching some of my old streams because Leevely had been making clips for them. And in one of the streams where this will be a clip highlight on the second channel eventually, which, hey, by the way, guys, subscribe to my clips channel to eventually see this, because this is, I forget if this is one that Leevely is currently working on or if it's one that's already in the queue. But there's a clip where I'm talking about the D&D characters. And we're talking about how it's like, listen, at some point Verity's going to like revive all of her entire old party and she'll get the gang back together and then they'll go beat up the bad guy and it'll be great. And I'm like, Darius is a very smart boy. I'm sure he's figured out some kind of like resurrection that would work on the whole party. He's very smart like that. And Jay was like, yeah, he's very smart. Right now, he's also very dead. And I was like, well, nobody's perfect. And just, I don't like to laugh at my own jokes because it feels cringe. But the timing was very good. The timing made me giggle because it was just like, yeah, it was something that I said, but enough time had passed that I had forgotten about it. I'm like, it took me by surprise and it made me laugh. Cause yeah, listen, he's super dead right now, but nobody's perfect. Everybody's got something. Sometimes you're an asshole wizard. Sometimes you've been dead for 200 years. It's fine. It's fine. I think Pobody's Nerfect was the good place thing. I'm not sure if that's where it came from originally, because I feel like I may have heard it on like My Brother and Me before that show came out. But I don't think even they came up with it first. I think they were quoting it from something. I don't know. All I know is it's not a quote, or it is a quote. I did not come up with it, so I will take no credit for it. But I do think it's cute. I remember Pobody's Nerfect from an autobiography I was editing a couple years back. It goes so deep! It keeps going deeper! I'm 54 and I heard it as a child right alongside Dane Bramage. Oh man, I use Drain Bamage. It was like, hey doctor, I hit my head real hard, but don't worry, I'm pretty sure that my drain's fine. It's just like that one thing. It's like, I don't have a concussion. I'm homeless, stupid, and unemployed. That one is a genuine starism right there. That one I will take credit for. That one is a star original. Cause that's from my weird injury story. You guys remember that one? Probably. I took a big spill while I was ice skating. And I had just quit my job a few days before and did not have health insurance. And I fell really, really hard while I was ice skating, and I hit my head really, really hard. And when they wheeled me off the ice, they were checking me for a concussion. They were doing the thing where they, like, wiggle the finger in front of your face, and they were like... I tell the story better in my injury story video, so go watch that if you want the full story. But basically, they were like, okay, we need to ask you some questions to make sure that you are not concussed. How old are you? And I had, like, just had a birthday, so it took me a second to remember. I'm like, I'm 20, 20, and they were like, okay, that's not a good sign. And it's like, okay, well, what's your address? And I had, like, just moved out of my apartment. I was in the process of moving all my stuff into a storage unit, so I was kind of living between two places in the moment. And I was like, and then they asked me a third question, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, they asked me what day of the week it was. And the thing was, I had just quit my job like a couple weeks before, and so I didn't really have a good sense of what day it was because I had just spent the last like 2 weeks packing up my house, and I'm just like, it's all just kind of a blur. And so I'm actually not sure what day it is. And so I was like, and so the conversation basically went, okay, what's your address? Okay, what day is it? How old are you? And they were like, okay, yeah, she's got a concussion, call 911. And I'm like, no, I'm not concussed. Do not make me ride in an ambulance. Do not make me pay for an ambulance. I don't have health insurance. I'm just homeless, stupid, and unemployed. And then they let me go without needing to call an ambulance. But I was not allowed to go on the ice anymore that night. That was a pretty epic wipeout, though. It probably looked really cool. I kind of wish that they caught it on video, because it must have looked fucking sick. I almost did a backflip, and I landed on the back of my skull. I flipped real hard. I would have made $1 million on America's Funniest Home Videos. Hello, new watcher here. I'm a new. Thank you, Takara Turner. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Welcome to the silly stream. Solid landing, I guess. Oh yeah, solid landing fully on the back of my skull. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I talked about it in the video. I fell backwards on ice skates so quickly that I saw my silhouettes, the silhouette of my skates against, like, I flew backwards, essentially. And I saw my ice skates silhouetted against the ceiling and had just enough time to think, that's not where those are supposed to go, before I slammed the back of my head into the ice. Land, like, fully on the back of my head. I think it probably looked super sick and also very worrisome to everybody who worked at the skating rink. So I don't blame them for thinking I had a concussion, but lucky for me, this skull is very thick. Very thick. Donk donk. I thought that was from the scooter incident. Nah, the ice skating incident and the scooter incident are two completely different things. And the scooter incident, I definitely had a concussion because I don't remember the scooter incident. I was very heavily concussed after I made passionate love to somebody's passenger side window on my little scooter. And I do not remember any of this, but I apparently had similar energy where I did not want to get on the ambulance, and so I was fist fighting the EMTs. I guess, like, aggression is a thing with concussions. Where it's like, if you have a concussion, you can be, like, overly aggressive, and you're like, yeah, that was me. Heavily concussed, broken wrist, physically brawling the EMTs because I did not want to get in the ambulance. And I remember none of it. I remember none of this. I don't know if you have ADHD or if it's lingering effects from that ice skating incident. Oh, trust. The silly brain has been a thing since long before the ice skating incident. The ADHD, that's been an always thing. That has very much been an always thing. I just didn't know what it was when I was a kid. Womp womp. Alrighty, we are making good progress. But yes, TLDR, Star has a lot of very, very strange stories about injuries and such. But if you want to hear more of them, you should go watch the video I made about it, because that is literally the most popular video on my channel. It's got over 1 million views. It is the channel, or it is the video that made my channel go viral. All because I just am bad at being a person. Yippee! Although, you know, there is more to the car accident story specifically that I didn't go too into detail on because I was worried. Because, like, I've got friends who were in, like, really bad car accidents and it kind of traumatized them and they really don't like hearing about car accident stuff. And so I kind of avoided it for that video. But, there is more detail to that story, actually. More just, like, a fucking silly nonsense. Like, it was a nightmare. It was a bad thing that happened. And I'm still sad that it happened and upset. But also, at the same time, when I came out of the concussion, the first thing I asked my roommate to do, who was standing in the So first of all, so what happened is that I got in a really bad scooter accident when I was in college. I had a scooter that I rode to class every day, and at some point, I was on my scooter, and a guy did not stop at a stop sign and cut me off, and I plowed into his passenger side door, essentially, going like 50 miles an hour on my little beep beep scooter. I do not remember any of it. I remember driving down the street, and I remember looking at the ceiling in the MRI machine. And that's about it. And then I remember, like, going down the hallway. I'm on a stretcher, and I'm being wheeled down the hallway, and I'm just, like, looking up at the ceiling, and I'm hearing people talk, and I'm babbling, and I'm, like, trying to ask people what's going on. And I did, at one point, cuss out the doctor. And because apparently what had happened was I kept asking the same questions over and over again because I couldn't retain any information because of the concussion. And so at some point they just stopped talking to me. And they were like, we can't keep answering. She's just asking the same questions over and over again. We're not just going to keep talking to her because she's still very heavily concussed. And I remember one of the first things I said when I came out of my concussion was, will someone tell me what the fuck is going on? And I just remember hearing one of the doctors go, oh, that's new. It's like, oh, she's gained some new vocabulary. Because, like, how in character is that, right? People were like, hey, I'm just like, hey, what happened? Where am I? What happened? And they're just completely ignoring me, and they're just talking to themselves. I'm just like, I'm seeing, like, just the shadows of these people, like, over me. And, like, my vision's still really blurry, and I can't see anything, and they're just completely ignoring my babbles. And I'm just like, will someone tell me what the fuck's going on? And just one of them goes, oh, hey, new words. She's learning new words. So then what happens is, I guess it was a really busy night at the ER. So they couldn't actually put me in a room. They just put my stretcher in a hallway. I was just in a hallway on a stretcher, heavily concussed. And they only let 2 people back there to visit me at a time. And so when I started coming out of it, and I'm like, all like loopy, they've got me on like a lot of pain meds. And I'm just like, blah. And so there were two people back there with me. There was my roommate, Sarah, who is the same Sarah that I do my podcast with, my bestie, Bestie Sorrow. And so she was there, and she was obviously extremely freaked out. She was one of the first people they called when the accident happened, because I guess she was in my phone as my roommate, or like the school told them who to call or something along those lines. And there was a woman from the university there. There was a woman from the school who was just like, you know, there to make sure that they were not going to get sued, and like that I was okay, and they were not going to have the death of a student on their hands that day. And they were both standing over me and being like, you know, I was kind of doing the same thing where I was like kind of repeating the same questions because I couldn't really retain anything. But eventually, once I was finally lucid enough to like maintain information, I turned over to Sarah. And important detail to note is that up until this point, I had perfect attendance at school. I had never missed a class. I had never even been late to a class before. I was a junior in college. I had never missed a class. The one time I missed a class was I was on my way to class and I got hit by a truck. And so one of the first things I asked Sarah, I'm like, Sarah, did I miss class? And she's like, yeah, Star. And I was like, damn it. Damn it. And then I was like, Sarah, I need you to take a picture of me, and I need you to make it into one of those but you didn't have to cut me off memes. Because that's exactly what happened. And to her credit, she did. She took a picture of my like bloodied face with like 2 chipped teeth and a black eye, and there was like some dried blood on the side of my face. And she took a picture of me, and she made it into a but you didn't have to cut me off meme. So that happened. That's an image that exists. And then what happened, as Sarah said, is like, hey, Star, we want to get like your entire friend group is here, like the entire like group of like all of my friends who all live in the same dorm. They're all here, but they're in the waiting room, and they're not going to let everyone come back at the same time. But like some of the friends, like, you know, want to see you. They want to make sure that you're okay. Like they're really freaked out by this, but they can only let 2 people back here at the same time. And so Sarah was like, you know, if you want, I can like go get someone and then let someone else come back. And I was just like, you know, I was kind of distressed. And so I'm like, no, Sarah, don't go. I love you. And she's like, well, okay. Well, I nobody else can come back here unless I go. And I look at the lady from the school who was there, because, you know, they only allowed 2 people back there per injured person at the same time. And I didn't want Sarah to leave. So I looked at the lady from the school and I was like, can you leave? And she was like, no. She was like, no. So fucking rude, but it's like, you're not my friend. I don't know you. Can you leave? It was very funny. It was very funny. Oh God, there was one other thing that happened. Oh yeah. So, you know, they were still worried because like at this point I was like capable of forming new sentences. I was remembering like new information, but they were still like, you know, Sarah and the woman from the school, and also me, like retroactively, was very scared that like this had caused some kind of brain damage or something. Because, you know, I had a really bad concussion. It was like gnarly as hell. I slammed into a car going 50 miles an hour with nothing between me and the car but a dinky little helmet. Always wear your helmets, kids. I would have fucking died if I hadn't been wearing that shit. I don't think I still have it anymore. I think it got lost in the chaos of me moving at some point, but I kept that helmet. It had a bunch of road rash on it, but I kept it, and I just covered it in stickers. I called it the sticker helmet. It was a trophy of a grievous wound that I survived. But yeah, so, you know, at some point one of the doctors comes over, is like, okay, everybody, how's she doing over here? And I think someone said something along the lines of, was like, well, she's talking more now, but I'm still kind of worried that she might not, like, know, she might still, like, have brain damage. Is she gonna be okay? And the doctor's like, hey, what's your social security number? And I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, but, like, actually said, I, like, was actually, it's like, oh, God, 9, 7, 2, 4, and he was like, yeah, she'll be fine. And he walks away. And I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, cool. The doctor said I don't have brain damage anymore. Yippee. So yeah, some additional details on that story that I left out of that video, but little treat. That was just like, God, what a fucking adventure that was. Hated it. Was a terrible time for everyone involved. Scared the shit out of a lot of my friends. Was very upsetting thing that happened. Totaled my scooter. I haven't had a scooter ever since. Very scary. But you look back on it and it's like, okay, some of that shit that happened was really funny. You gotta focus on the funny shit or you will lose yourself to despair, you know? You gotta focus on the fact that I physically fought a bunch of EMTs. I said fuck you to the doctors that were treating me because they were ignoring me while I was concussed. I told the school representative to fuck off, like, so that more of my friends could come back into the hospital and see me. Cause it's like, I don't care, I don't know who you are, fuck off. I want more of my friends to come visit me. And just the look she gave me, she was just like, no, I'm not leaving. Because you go to a very expensive school and I need to make sure that you're not dead. It was so, again, horrible, awful situation. Some of that shit was funny though. Some of that shit was funny. But you didn't have to cut me up. No, you need to understand, this was in late 2012. This was at the height of that meme's popularity. Like, that was the most popular song on the radio when this happened. Like, everyone and their mom was obsessed with the "but you didn't have to cut me off" song, and then I got into a car accident because I got cut off in traffic. Was I supposed to not make a meme about that? Like, hello? So, there is actually also more to that story. The day after that story, there was gonna be a dance at the school, that I was at. Every year, I forget exactly what the club was called, but it was like the school's like gay straight alliance. It was a club at the school, and every year they put on an event called the Gender Bender Ball, which was basically like you dress in drag and you party. And this was like an annual thing that they did every year. And my car accident was the day before the Gender Bender Ball. And I was like, me and all my friends had been really looking forward to it, and it was gonna be hype, and we were excited. And then I go and get in a fucking car accident. And you know, I had a broken wrist and I was fucked up. I had a black eye. I had like, my 2 front teeth were chipped off and I was real fucked up, but I still wanted to go. And so what we ended up doing was, this was also around the time that Gravity Falls was like super popular because it was in the process of being released. This was like when the first season was coming out. And I still, you know, really wanted to go. And so me and all my friends were like, well, okay, Star has a black eye. What if we make her an eye patch and then she can be Grunkle Stan? And then we all just dress up like Gravity Falls characters. And then me and my entire group of friends just like looked at each other and we were like, yeah, that'll do. And so in less than like, it just like the next day was a Friday and we didn't have school because SCAD only has classes on Monday through Thursday and Friday's supposed to be our studio day. And so we all just like huddled up in mine and Sarah's dorm room And we all just made like really, really quickly put together gravity, like gender bent Gravity Falls cosplay. So I was not Grunkle Stan, I was Grunty Fran. But I still had like the eye patch. I hand sewed that eye patch with one hand because my wrist was broken. And I made it out of pink sequin fabric because I thought it was fabulous. And I wanted a pink sequined eye patch. Looking back on this is so ridiculous. But yeah, and so then we went to the gender bender ball. We had a great time. And, you know, they had a contest at the end of the night that was like, it was like their award show because everybody came to this thing in drag. And so they had to do like, you know, they had to do a little contest at the end. And so one, I can't remember if this was the only one. I don't think it was. But they had like, if I'm remembering right, Leewalee's gonna watch this clip later and like mentally think that's not what it was. But I remember, I think there was more than one like award. There was maybe like most elegant or something like that. I don't remember. But the one I cared about was they had a hot mess contest. And they were like, we need to crown the hottest mess of the night. And so they got all these people up at the front who, it was like kind of a self like volunteer is like, yeah, I'll qualify. I'll get up at the front. And it was the type of thing where it's just like, you just like hold your hand up and then everybody cheers for you if they think you should win. And like, I was not like necessarily dressed like a hot mess, but I literally had a black eye and I was kind of hobbling around and I had a cast on my arm. And so when it came to be my turn to like, be like, hey, why do you think you should win the hot mess contest? I was just like, I got hit by a truck yesterday. And I didn't win. I didn't win, chat. I didn't win, but you know, it's whatever. I left not long after that because I was tired and my legs hurt. I was just kind of like generally achy. I was still very high on pain meds when I was there. I only stayed like an hour. But yeah, I was just like, ah, well, them's the breaks, I guess. But nah, I just remember a friend of mine was actually like he was like either the president. I don't know if he was the president, but he was a very like key person in the group. Like for the Gay Straight Alliance or whatever it was called. That's what it was called in high school. I can't remember what the college version was called. Maybe that was it, but maybe I'm misremembering. And he, you know, he was running this dance. He was, like, running the show. And he apparently had heard. He's like, what do you mean Star got hit by a truck yesterday and she's here? And apparently, like, I think I ran into him at some point during that night. And he's like, what are you doing here? You got hit by a truck and went to the hospital yesterday. I'm like, well, yeah, but Mikey, I want to dance. I want to dance. Bless him. Oh, man. What a time. What a time of it. I remember the year following that, my senior year, I actually skipped the gender bender ball because something else got in the way. Just the gender bender ball, something always happens. My junior year, I got hit by a truck the day before. My senior year, I think it was senior year. My senior year, I had to drive a friend to the ER that night because they ate a bad burger and had an allergic reaction because the place didn't put all of the allergens on the menu. And it was Leewaleee, actually. Hi, Leewaleee. I hope you don't mind him telling this story. But Leewaleee, like, I guess the restaurant, like, changed the recipe of this one burger, and they added, like, sesame flour or something to it and did not reflect it in the menu, and Leewaleee is allergic to sesame. And, like, you know, used their EpiPen, did all that stuff, but, you know, I'm, like, in my apartment trying to get ready for the gender bender ball. Like, I've got a wig on, I'm doing my makeup, I'm doing, like, contour to look more masculine. I've got pajama pants and a button-up shirt on because I'm, like, in the process of getting dressed. And I hear a knock at my door. I go answer it, and I see that it's Leewaleee, and they're looking very distressed. And I'm like, Star, I think I'm having an allergic reaction. Can you take me to the He's like, I think I need a ride to the hospital. I was like, oh my God, are you okay? And he was like, yeah, I think I need to go to the doctor. And I was like, yeah, hang on, I'll drive you. And they said something like, but if you take me to the hospital, you're gonna miss the gender bender ball. And I literally looked at them, ripped the wig off my head, threw it across the room, and said, we're going to the hospital. We're going to the ER right now. Get in my car. Oh, man. College was certainly a time. And so, yeah, that's the story of how I missed the gender bender ball that year because I spent the evening in the hospital waiting room, half in drag. Half in pajamas, half in drag. Legally was fine. But, you know, just the gender bender ball versus medical emergencies. Yup. What a time. What a time. Hey, Valivali, if you want to, if this ends up being a clip and you want to put a tirade on the screen about how stupid companies are for continuing to put sesame allergens in their food, feel free. I know you're very passionate about that, and you should be, because it's fucked up. Anyway, where's my water? I don't mean to laugh. Life is strange, isn't it? You will be hospitalized, but like in a friend way. Yeah, basically. Imagine walking into the hospital and seeing a Grunkle Stan cosplayer in the waiting room. Nah, the Grunkle Stan thing was just the year I was in the car accident. The following year, I was just gonna go as my tried and true dude in a suit. Dude in a suit. It's a classic. Because, like, you know, I cosplayed a lot back then. And so, you know, when you cosplay, you just have a suit sometimes. I feel like every cosplayer's got a suit in their closet. No matter what their gender is, every cosplayer's got a suit in their closet. And, you know, you put on a suit, you put on a short wig. There you go. My tried and true dude in suit. Any new tieflings for the pile? Not recently, but I was just thinking the other day that I want to make some more. Because, you know, like, I'm always thinking about new little guys I can make. And actually, that's actually one thing I was thinking. So originally, these were the same project in my head, but they at some point kind of splintered off of each other, and now they're two separate things because, you know, more little guy potential. I had the idea originally for, like, a group of rainbow tieflings, and they're all bards. And I was gonna call them the Rain Bards because it's like rainbow but bard. Haha, get it. But now I'm almost thinking it's like, well, okay, I do have Felix is pink and she's a bard, but Lapis is not a tiefling, but she's still a bard. Kind of. And so it's like, okay, well, I could do my tiefling rainbow and my rain bards, and that can be like two separate groups of characters that have like a smidgen of overlap if I wanted to. So it's like I could have the rain bards and I could also have the tiefling rainbow, and, you know, maybe there's a couple characters in common. Like Felix would fit in both sides of the Venn diagram, but Lapis wouldn't because she's not a tiefling. And, like, Zephyr was a bard originally, but I eventually changed him to be a wizard. And I do like that better for his character, so he's probably going to stay a wizard. But I could come up with, like, just a group of D&D characters that are just, like, a rainbow group of bards, and they're just, like, a traveling band. Because that could be fun, and I could, like, you know, design all those characters and come up with little stories for them, and I could even make a video out of it. I think it would be fun. And then I could also have my tiefling rainbow, and that would have, like, Felix, and Verity, and Emery, and Zephyr, and Cyrus, and insert other characters who haven't gotten made yet. But it'd be fun. They could be a band. I just love an excuse to come up with little guys, you know? I just love an excuse to come up with little guys. I've mentioned this on a past stream, I think, but I am planning on revisiting my, like, my shark gajinkas. And I'm thinking of, like, maybe doing a video where I redesign them, kind of talk about the design process, and maybe go a little bit more into, like, their personalities and stories and such. I think that would be very fun, and I think it would also be fun to, like, get the audience to vote on which species of shark I do. And I could do, like, 5 per video, and I just, like, revisit the topic occasionally. I'm planning on doing something like that for July, because that's when Shark Week is. Shark Week video. Designing shark girls. Designing/redesigning shark girls. I think it would be fun. I just really want more excuses to do more character design shit. I can't do them constantly because, you know, those videos do take more effort than just, like, a story time or something. But I love doing character designs, and I love designing little guys, and I love getting quirky with it and having fun. Yippee. But I gotta take a nap first, because I'm tired. I don't even know what I'm doing for my February video. I've got a couple of different options, couple of different ideas, but I'm unsure. I haven't, like, fully committed to anything. Ever thought about designing villains? I could, but see, here's the thing. I know a lot of folks love a villain. I'm not, like, huge into villains. I was never, like, a big fan of, like, I wouldn't say that I have a favorite Disney villain or anything like that. I've never been, like, super into villains. I've always been more of, like, a good guy enjoyer, personally. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like that's more where my strengths lie. Follow your passions, etc. And so it's like, it's not that I'm against it, it's just I feel like my strength is more lies in, like, the protagonists, right? Now, I did do some shit for Cast Off, but we can't go into it yet, because that's spoilers. We'll get there. We will get there, chat. Remember how I said earlier, you guys are gonna have to trust me and let me cook? That's one of those things. Because I am very excited for some eventual reveals that will be happening. Because some shit's gonna go down. And I'm very excited. Do you have a favorite FMA character design? I have favorite characters, but I'm not sure if I have favorite character designs. I'd have to go back and reread the series. I can tell you that FMA inspired several cast-off characters, though. Like, I feel like if you've read Full Metal Alchemist, you can clock where Rory came from extremely easily. Like, I wear that influence on my fucking sleeve. If you know, you know, and you should know because it is gratuitously obvious. I also just, my Riza Hawkeye is best girl. I love her so much. I love her so much. I also really like Alphonse. I had such a crush on Alphonse when I was a teenager. Now I just think he's a fun little guy. It's just like, aw, that's my boy right there. That's my guy. He was one of my favorite characters in anything growing up. As far as favorite character design, though, I'm not sure. I have to go back and stare at them all real good. I will say that, like, I know it's kind of basic since he's the main character, but Ed does have a really good character design. The big red coat and the bright yellow hair are, like, so good. And I love a character with yellow eyes. I love it. There's actually a cosplay photo of me So my eyes are like kind of a hazily green normally. I've lied to you all. My VTuber eyes are not the same color as my natural eyes. I'm sorry, I've lied to all of you. But I love a character with yellow eyes. Yeah, this should not be obvious, or this should not be hard to suss out. Look at my son. But I had a point and I lost it. Oh yeah, there's a cosplay photo that was taken from just like a random hall photographer at a convention that I was at. And I don't know if it was the lighting or if he put some kind of weird post-processing on the photo, but you look at this old cosplay photo of me and my eyes are like bright yellow and I am not wearing contacts. And I remember getting those pictures back and I was like, oh my God. I was just like, I'm not even wearing contacts there because I'm scared of putting things in my eyes. But like the exact light settings this guy used makes it look like I have yellow eyes in this photo and it looks fucking sick. I want my eyes to be that color in real life. Damn it. Anyway, so then I just slapped him on my VTuber. It's fine. I would dig up that photo, but I don't think it's saved in my computer. That was on my old computer, and I don't think I transferred those files over. Ugh, my voice. I'm not used to... I started the stream early, intending to go for, like, you know, the full 4 hours, because I have a lot of work to do on this print. And now I'm remembering why I don't usually stream this long. My voice is real tired. I'm not gonna talk for the rest of the night after this stream is over. I don't know how, like, people do 12+ hour streams. How does your voice not get exhausted? I stream for, like, 3 hours, and I just, like, my throat is sore. I mean, I assume that, like, vocal stamina is a thing, right? You gotta imagine it is, because, like, you think about, like, Broadway show actors who get up and they sing and they do, like, a show, like, a whole 2.5 hour show. And they do that, like, 6 or 7 times a week. How do you build vocal stamina aside from just talking all the time? What are the secrets? I need them, apparently. I need it for my streaming career. Because it's like, I see, you know, YouTubers and other VTubers doing, like, these 7 to 12 hour, like, live streams, and they just do that on a regular basis, and I'm like, how the fuck can you stand to stream that long? How does your voice not give out? Oh my God. Some people like hearing themselves talk and go full day gabbing about nothing. Yeah, I know. I'm a YouTuber. I am a streamer. I know. Vocal rest, it's a big theater kid thing, works for some people. Yeah, see, the problem is, unfortunately, even though I live alone, I do love to just talk to myself. It's one of the perks of living alone, is that, you know, I can just, like, yap to myself and no one will shame me for being cringe and weird. I like to walk around on my little racetrack, which is, like, this one section of my house. I kind of have... the floor plan of my house has it so that the living room, kitchen, and dining room are kind of set up in a circle. And I call it my racetrack. Because I'll just, like, walk that loop. I'll just walk that loop for hours. And I'll just, like, have conversations with myself. And I'll practice my lines for, like, D&D sessions and shit. And I'll, like, brainstorm comic scripts. And I'll do things like that. And I'll just do that shit for hours. I used to do that back when I lived in that apartment with my brother. But I would, like, go outside in the middle of the night. And I would just, like, take walks around the inside of our gated community. And I would just, like, whisper quietly to myself under my breath. But now I live alone and I have a house with a racetrack, and so I just go, meow. Meow. A fellow pacer. Oh, absolutely. If I am on the phone, I am on the move. Literally, if I'm at my desk and my mom calls me, I have to stand up and walk around, and I walk my racetrack. I pace around on my racetrack while I'm on the phone with my mom. And she can't FaceTime me when I do it because it makes her motion sick, apparently. And I'm just like, if I'm talking on the phone, I gotta be on the move. I can't just sit still and have a phone conversation. I gotta get up, I gotta walk around, I gotta do shit. Yeah, like, my voice is tired. My voice is tired. I'm not used to streaming this long. It's like, I guess that 3 hours is my exact tap out point, because we hit the 3-hour mark like 10 minutes ago, and I am really starting to feel it now. I am really starting to feel it now. It's like, it doesn't hurt, it's just sore, you know? And I'm just like, yeah. Or I guess not sore, but it feels like a little strained. It definitely feels like I'm using I'm using my voice more than I normally would. And I'm just like, oh, I need to stop talking. But I'm on stream. I'm streaming. I would never make it as a professional VTuber. I do not have the strength to yap. Speaking of, I had a dream the other night that I joined one of the like big VTuber agencies. And then I woke up just thinking, is like, brain, we moved on from that aspiration years ago. We don't need to be doing this now. You ever have like big VTuber agency dreams? I've had several over the last couple years, but it's like, you know, when I was... Back when VTubers were like just gaining prominence in the West, I did audition for a couple. I sent in like one audition for Niji Sanji, like back when they first opened auditions for like the very first English wave. And then I sent in, I think, 2 auditions for Hololive over the years, but obviously I never got into any of them. But like, you know, you look on it now and it's like, nah, I managed to make it work on my own. I'm happy with this little community I've built. And I'm happy that I get to set my own hours and I get to do my own thing. I would like to do more stuff that being in an agency, it would be easier to do if I was in an agency, but at the same time, it's like, I love having my freedom so much, I think I would just like want to be strangled if I was in an agency. Niji Sanji. Yeah, talk about a dodged bullet, am I right? Goddamn. Goddamn. They call me Star Professional Bullet Dodger. But nah, I just like... I would love to do like more song covers and stuff, but that kind of thing is like hard to do because I don't know jack shit about music. And I would love, it's like, I always watch, you know, the big Hololive concerts, and I just think they're so cool. It's like, I would love to do that. Cause, you know, I used to be in like an idol dance cover group. I used to do that, and I loved it. And I do miss it occasionally. But it's not the kind of thing that I'd be super motivated to do myself. I've considered like trying to do that solo, but it's just like, that's a lot of time. That is a lot of time you have to dedicate to that, and I feel like I'm better off just, you know, like focusing on the stuff that I'm good at and that I'm really passionate about, i.e. art and YouTube and stuff like that. But you know, I like singing. I think it would be fun to do song covers occasionally, and I've got some friends who still do like the cosplay performance circuit. And they just do it for fun, and I think it would be fun to do occasionally, but it's like, it's not something I'm super motivated to pursue myself. But sometimes I sit and I wistfully stare out the window and I daydream about it. And I'm like, oh man, that'd be cool. One of the other reasons I aspired to join a VTuber corpo before I kind of gave up on that for various reasons is, they usually, you know, whenever new VTubers join, like, the ranks, right? It's usually, they're part of, like, a wave. So they'll debut a bunch of new talents at once, and then, like, they're kind of just like a united group, right? And it always kind of felt like you join an agency and you get a built-in group of friends. And I'm so bad at, like, you know, being social and, like, reaching out to people. I thought that sounded really nice. I'm just like, yeah, it's like, you know, it's instant camaraderie from joining up in day one, you know? That could be really nice. You know, just, like, joining with a group of, like, gen mates who are just kind of like a built-in little friend group. That could be nice. That would be a really easy way to, like, establish friendships. And then I can just, like, kind of branch out from there. And looking back on it, that's, like, really sad. Like, yeah, do I still have trouble reaching out to people? Yeah. But, like, it's like, oh, Star Baby, don't give up your freedom just for a potential group of streamer friends. Hold tight to what you love, child. I say child, this was like 2 years ago. Longer than that, I guess. I guess closer to like 3 or 4 years ago. Once the YouTube took off, I was just like, I don't need to do that shit anymore. I don't care about that. I'm doing my own thing, and it works. But you know, Baby Star had dreams, and while the dreams didn't end up working out, I'm glad where I land. I'm happy for where I landed, so I just need to get better at reaching out to people. But that is actually one of my goals for this year, is to be less scared of, you know, like, contacting other people that I'm interested in, you know, like, potentially doing shit with. I get so skittish, you know? I get so skittish. That was a good yawn. You ever just have like a really satisfying yawn? That was a good one. Once I'm done with this art piece, it will be time for my January vacation. You guys, I'm so fucking excited. Your girl is tired. Your girl is eepy, chat. Your girl, reportedly, according to many people who, honestly, I don't even know what they're talking about, but they keep saying that I work too hard, and I don't know about that one, but... Am eepy, can confirm. Am eepy. Eepinus Maximus right here. High workaholic. No, it's like, go away. I'm not a workaholic. It's hard not to be when your job is so much fun. All right. I like what I do for a living. Savannah, don't back her up. No. No. Don't gang up on me. No. 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 Get you, Eeps. Ha! See, I see you trying to get Vector to say shit, but since Vector's broken right now and needs some kind of update, I didn't even open the program before starting to stream. So he cannot be used for your agenda. Ha-ha! Trying to weaponize my son against me? How dare you? How dare you? My point stands. Does it? I'll have you know that I am sitting down. So what about that? Yeah, we've officially reached hour 4 of the stream, I think. We have passed my usual threshold. Nobody knows what will happen now. We've reached uncharted territory, you see. Who knows what could happen from here? What bizarre shit I might end up saying. Time for me to get really deep and introspective. Except that's what my streams are usually, so I don't know what would make this one special. You guys ever think about dying? I watched the Barbie movie for the first time on the plane back from visiting my friends in Michigan. That was an odd film, but I enjoyed it. It's an odd film, but I had fun. Hey, Star, lean over from the sitting position till you're reclining, then eep. Okay, well, you asked for it. Leaning back. Leaning back. Leaning back. And whoa! I have fallen! Is this what you wanted? Is this what you wanted? Yes! What do you mean, yes? I knocked my chair over just for that bit, and you're gonna say that that's what you wanted? Rude. Get concussed, nerd. No! No! I am eepy though. I think maybe once I am done shading this piece, I will call it a night. Probably got like another 10 minutes left before I'll be done with this. I think I will go ahead and that feels like a good stopping point. It means I'll have to finish the print tomorrow, but that's fine. It wouldn't take too much longer. I just have to do the background after that point. I can just bust that out in the morning and then enjoy the rest of my day doing fucking nothing. Hell yeah. I mean, my goal was to, you know, like, stream most of today. And then just, like, get the print done. And then enjoy my break. Starting, like, tonight. And then working my way into tomorrow evening. Or and just, like, you know, just break time. But then my mother kidnapped me and ran to run errands. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. I need an excuse to get out of the house. And I like to hang out with my mom. Look at Awiana. Look at this girly pop. She's got her little... she's got her little chocolate bonbons. She's just like, I don't know why we're floating in this dessert-flavored expanse. But I got candy, so I'm okay with it, I guess. Wow. I keep getting people asking me, like, who my favorite character in Cast Off is, and honestly, how could you make me choose between my children? I love all of them. We don't talk about Cart Guy. We don't have to talk about Cart Guy. He's not even a character. He doesn't have a name. He's just a fucking guy that I made up. He's not a character, he's a plot device. Who's your fave to draw? Ariana is definitely the fave to draw. because I love drawing angry faces on characters, and also her hair is really fun to draw. It's like, it straddles that line of being fun and also easy to draw, which is nice. I feel like you can get a lot of movement with her hair because it's so long. It's very fun. Vector is also fun just because I love little guys. I love how Castoff is just like, every main character is like one of my favorite types of little guy. You know? Although the specific type of little guy Rory is might surprise folks. Like why I love Rory so much. Like I was literally just going off on this tangent in mod chat the other day, but it's like, I know that some people don't like Rory, and ultimately those people are just wrong. I mean, it's like, I can understand why some folks wouldn't like Ariana. I can understand why some people wouldn't like Vector. People who dislike Frankie and Rory and Marina are just wrong, quite frankly. But like specifically with Rory, she's one of those, like, it's literally said out loud in the comics. She's just not good at first impressions. But she is honestly, like, once we start getting into her stuff, she's a very deep character, and I love her whole thing that she has going on. Rory is very much like the super smart kid who just didn't get enough attention growing up and just kind of turned that into it, like, lashing out in ways that she would get attention, because, you know, even negative attention is some kind of attention, because she was like very neglected as a kid, and so that kind of turned into this brat energy. But, you know, like, she finally finds Marina, someone who can appreciate her and like pays attention to her even when she doesn't act out, appreciates her for who she is as an actual person, and is finally able to, you know, like, be a smart kid who loves math and building shit. And she's finally getting, you know, encouragement for this stuff that she's been passionate about her whole life but hasn't been able to explore. She's such a good, like, she's a really good kid in really bad circumstances. And that's her whole thing. And, you know, it's kind of shaped her personality. She just didn't get what she needed, and it kind of negatively affected her. But part of her character growth is, you know, learning that she doesn't have to be that. You know, she's always going to be a little bit of a brat, because that's fun. But it's just like, she's a very deep character. And I feel like people who hate her are not giving her the benefit of the doubt of there is a very clear reason why she is like this. There is a very, very clear and, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the specific word I'm looking. Tangible. There is a very specific, clear, and tangible reason why she acts the way she does. And that's, like, part of who she is as a character. And so people who just see, oh, she's a brat and I hate her, they're just wrong, unfortunately. They are just wrong. And I'm just like, listen, people are allowed to have whatever opinions they have about my characters. But it's just like, all of my characters are the way they are for a reason. Like, Marina is the way she is because she's highly traumatized, and we're gonna get into it. And Rory is the way she is because she's highly traumatized. And Ariana obviously is the way she is because she's very like, all of them are fucking traumatized, and it leads very specifically into why they are like this. And that's like one of my favorite things with character development, is like seeing the character, seeing what they're like, and then learning and understanding why they are like that. Like, slowly discovering over the course of the story why their personality is like that, why they behave that way, what in their past is the reason that they act like this. What are they made of? Where are they coming from? And how does it affect them? That shit is genuinely fascinating to me. Like, a good example, not from my own work, Senshi Dungeon Meshi. He is obsessed with, you know, making sure that people stay fed and that making sure that people have good food. And he's obsessed particularly with learning how to make food in the dungeon. And, you know, he doesn't go into the why until way later in the series, when you find out about his whole fucking tragic backstory, and then you look back on all of everything he has done throughout the series so far, and you look back on that and you're like, oh, holy shit, that's why he's like this. It's so good! And so it's like, I love it when a show shows me who a character is. It's like, one of my biggest pet peeves. I see this in a show, or like a show especially, because I feel like you should not need to do this in a show. But I see this more frequently in comics, and every time I see it, it drives me up a fucking wall. And at that point, that's like, as the kids say, that's like negative 100 aura points anytime I see this in a show or a comic. I see this more in comics, like I said. If a comic introduces a character and then if a comic has a character show up in the comic for the very first time, and like one of the first panels they are in has a little pop-up next to them that just says, oh, this character is this person. They like this, they dislike this. And sometimes it'll go so far as to like give a little summary of who they are as a character. I'm like, what are you doing? Why? The whole point of a show is to introduce us and let us get to know these characters. We're not speed dating. This is a story, not a speed date. I don't need to know your whole fucking backstory. The instant you're introduced, if you do this in a fucking webcomic, I'm closing the tab. I am closing the tab. This drives me up the wall. This is one of my biggest pet peeves in no matter what form of storytelling it is, but I definitely see this most commonly in like manga and webcomics. Do not do this shit. I was inches away from doing this for my story. Do not. Don't you dare. Like, you know, I'm generally pretty liberal with like, it's like, yeah, you know, there's a time and place for everything. There are some things that I would say generally don't do, but you know, there are examples of them being done well. Like, you know, I would generally recommend against doing any kind of like world building heavy prologue, but like some people really like those. And so I'm not going to say never do this. I'm going to say I strongly recommend against doing this because I think there's a better way to open your story. But you can just tell me to fuck off. Like most of my writing advice is like that. Generally when I say, hey, don't do this, it's more of a strong suggestion than anything else. But there are a couple things that I am very diehard about. Some of them are just technical things. Don't draw a comic in 72 DPI unless you draw it like huge. My first comic, I was able to get away with 72 DPI because I drew them like 6 times the size they needed to be when printed. That was the only reason it worked out. But yeah, you know, nowadays I just do like 300 DPI and it saves the trouble, right? It accomplishes the same thing, but it's, you know, I don't have to worry about like altering the file when it goes to print, right? It's just a little easier. Always draw on I just like have gotten to the point where I like always draw on 300 DPI because if I do end up liking a piece and I want to print it, it just makes things easier. So yeah, like never draw in 300 or never draw in 72 DPI is just kind of like a standard one. This is another. If you do this, I'm fighting you behind the Denny's. I will fist fight you and I will just like fucking strangle you like fucking Bart Simpson and be like, why do you think that this is good? Why do you think that this is a good way to introduce a fucking character? I'm shaking you. I'm shaking you. Don't fucking do this. And like, I will admit, the Adventure Zone does this and I don't like it, but at the very least, they do funny shit with it. And yeah, see, Hawkford's Taz Comics, like they do this and it kind of annoys me, but at the same time, I kind of get it with the Taz Comics because they are so fucking like, they are shoving so much into such a short comic. I kind of get it. And also they do something funny with it where it's usually just like character name and then a funny little quip about them. And you know, that's fun. That's fun. I would argue it's they could tweak it so that wouldn't be necessary. But I think they at least do a good job of it. Again, I think that you should be able to work without it, and I will always prefer not, like, stories that do not do that. But if you're gonna do it, make it funny or interesting. Comic writer Greg Pak does it all the time with his author character Amadeus Cho. Look, he's smart. Look how smart he is. Yeah, like, if you're using it for comedy, then that's one thing. But just, like, using that to genuinely introduce a character drives me up the fucking wall. One of my biggest pet peeves that I should have put in the pet peeves video and I didn't because I didn't think about it. But maybe I'll do a sequel in the future because that video did perform very well. And I was... My favorite thing about that video is that video, it's like, you know, you look at it and you think, oh, it's just some YouTuber being negative and like complaining about shit. And it's like, oh, everybody loves really negative YouTube videos. And so that video got a lot of views, but also that video has, out of anything I've posted, that video has the most comments that say, hey, Star, this made me start sobbing at the end. And I was like, surprise! Fastball curveball is that I made a video that on the surface from the thumbnail looks like a really negative video where I'm just gonna complain about shit, and then I turn it into like genuine writing advice, and also I cap it off at the very end with a motivational pep talk about like how you should trust yourself as an artist and you shouldn't beat yourself up just because your skills might not be where you want them to be yet. And just like went on like this emotional little like TED talk about just like, hey, it's okay if you're not where you want to be, but like don't trash yourself, you know? And I have apparently made several people cry with that video because it's just like, I feel like that's just something that people need to hear. But it's just like, ha ha ha, yes. It's like giving a dog a treat by wrapping the pill in like bacon. I may have made this look like a delectably clickbaity video where an artist rants about her professional artist pet peeves, but then surprise! Motivational pep talk at the end of the video. Surprise! Fastball special. It's my favorite shit to do. I never want to turn into one of those YouTubers where I just like make a bunch of angry videos. It's like, I might make a video talking about stuff I don't like, but you bet your ass I'm gonna, you know, like weave in a nice message at the end. Because the world is too filled with bullshit. And we want to bring some good shit into it. Yippee-ki-yay. Whoa, motivational pep talk be upon ye. If your writing needing improvement makes you cry, I don't know, you might need therapy. That is not what I am saying, my friend. If that's what you got out of that, I'm sorry, you have taken the wrong message from it. Think a little harder about it and come back to me. Oh man, my throat is really killing me. Drill curls! Oh, my voice just cracked. Oh man, I gotta try some of those like vocal stamina exercises or something, I guess. I'll never be a professional streamer like this. Oh, that's the wrong brush. Why? Why did I just hear my rice cooker? I am not cooking rice right now. Weird shit. The heart highlights are very cute. Thank you. I've snuck these in before. I didn't do it on the I didn't do it on the stickers, but I felt like I needed to put them somewhere, you know? I'm imagining you giving someone a motivational speech and then just uncontrollably sobbing. I wouldn't sob, but apparently the motivational speeches have made people sob in the past. I don't know. You know, you never know when a YouTube comment is being, what's the word? Over-exaggerated. Because, you know, some people will be like, LOL, laughing my ass off, rolling on the floor laughing, and they're just, like, typing deadpan into the instant messenger. So I don't know if, like, it has ever actually done that, or if the YouTube comments were just, like, exaggerating for effect, but... You know, it just means it resonated with people, and that's what I'm glad of. Okay, we're gonna do some little highlights on the ribbons. Yeah, I'll do some highlights on the skirt as well. I legit feel guilty about saying I'm crying if I'm not crying. The closest I get to fudging it is if I get misty-eyed. Yeah, I've had stuff let me get misty, but like I've also, you know, like had stuff actually make me cry. Whether it's just like I cry from laughter a lot, but there's also been like a lot of shows that have made me cry and stuff. And generally if I say it's like, no, this actually did make me cry, then I mean it. Perfectly good example. Whenever, do you guys ever just like have those days where you're just like, I feel like I need to just have a good cry. I just need to open the well for like a hot second and just like have a little cry. You ever just like have those days where it's just like, I need to watch something that's gonna make me cry just to like get the feelings out. My go-to show for that is it's called A Place Further Than the Universe. If you ever want just like a really good cry, and you also want to watch a gratuitously underappreciated show at the same time, A Place Further Than the Universe is a slice of life anime about this group of 4 girls that go on an expedition to Antarctica. And it sounds silly. It's one of the most, like, touching anime I've ever watched in my entire life. It is genuinely so good. I cried at least twice watching it all the way through. I get at least misty every single episode watching that show. It's also just, like, phenomenally written. It's so good. But there's, like, this one specific scene. And if you've seen it, you know what scene it is. And I won't say it, but it's like, if you know, you know, right? I won't spoil what happens in it, I guess. But this scene is like so heartbreaking and like so meaningful that Crunchyroll isolated the scene and put it on YouTube. And if I ever need a good cry, all I gotta do is look up A Place Further Than the Universe laptop scene. And let me tell you, that gets the fucking waterworks going, like, fucking immediately. There's, like, the music and just the characters and all the shit that they're doing, and just, like, watching the events of that scene plays out is just crushing and cathartic. And I'm getting a little misty just thinking about it right now. Oh my god. But no, it is called A Place Further Than the Universe. It is genuinely one of my favorite anime. I would go as far as to say it's my favorite slice of life anime. It's on Crunchyroll. If you have that, that's a good way to watch it. It is extremely good. It is extremely underrated. And I will scream about it until the cows come home. But if you ever need a good damn cry, that is a great show for it. Like, that show had me crying by episode 2. That's how good it is. And not even like a sad cry. It was just like the episode 2 cry was just like, these characters are so full of life. And this is what this is what youth feels like. This is what like being in the prime of your life feels like. And it's such a silly scene, but it makes me fucking cry. Just listening to the music from that scene is just like, oh, it's so fucking good. Everybody go watch it. It's called A Place Further Than the Universe. It's a show about a bunch of girls going to Antarctica, and it's so fucking good. Ugh, I love it. But, chat, with that, I think I need to call it a night. It's getting close to my usual end time. I'm eepy, my throat hurts, and I want to go eat dinner. Milo, please do not play with the Christmas ornaments. But anyway, I am gonna go ahead and call it there. But thank you guys for joining me. Remember, this is gonna be my last stream for a while. I'm planning on taking the month of January off to rest. I might do like some just chatting streams if I miss you guys too much. I might do a couple of like little just very casual just chatting streams with like no art or anything, just talking, shooting the shit. But I have no solid plans for that. I'm not going to commit to that. But yeah, keep an eye on the Cast Off website. There's going to be some bonus content going up during the hiatus, so that'll get updated every Friday. Keep your eyes on this channel and also my second channel linked in the pinned comment. If you have not subscribed to the second channel, please do so. I'll be having stream highlights and clips going up every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for the entire month of January. I will also have a bunch of shorts going up on this channel for the entire month, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So if you subscribe to both of my channels, you're getting a new video from me every single day of the week except Sunday for the entire month of January. So it's basically going to be like I'm not even gone. And that's just all stuff that I had like pre-bankrolled in the beginning. It'll be like I haven't even left. You guys won't get a long form video for January, but that's because I'm eepy and I needed some sleepies. But yeah, so fare thee well, friends. Until the next time we meet, thank you all for joining me. Bye-bye.